Welcome back, everybody. This is Phil, the Issues Guy. Welcome to the Escaping From podcast. Tony Teflon will be with us in a little bit. He's just running a little bit late, helping out a neighbor, but he'll be back to join us in a few seconds. But we didn't want to let you guys wait too much longer and get into this and start talking about this episode. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the Escaping From podcast. If you're listening to the audio version of this, please make sure you give us some reviews on iTunes and all those different situations. And make sure you subscribe to Teflon TV. He's so close to 100,000. Let's get the push. If you're watching on either channel or checking this out later, make sure you subscribe to Teflon TV and also Phil the Issues Guy. And check us out all season for Escaping From. We're streaming on both places right now. And I can't wait to talk about this episode with Tony. And I can't wait to talk about this episode with you. So let's jump in the chat and see who we have with us right now. We've got I keep wanting to say the name of the show. Fatima in the live chat. We got William. We got Vince, the good buddy Vince. We got Kimberly. We got Tress. We got the super villain. We got Char's Stories. We got RC Sonic, your boy from downtown. Jessica O. We got Chris. This was a wild episode, short but wild. Well, we'll get into this. I wanted it to be a little longer. Pause, but that's just because you want more of a good thing. It is kind of good sometimes when they leave you wanting more. And there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about this episode, but let's stick in the live chat and talk to you guys. For those of you wondering, Tony will be back in about 10-15 minutes. He'll be back on here in a second. He just had to run off for a few minutes, but he will be back. John Wick says, great episode. We got Jason says, season 3 is better than season 1 overall. As a whole, pound for pound at this point, 4 episodes in, this is my favorite season of From. I think season 1 was excellent, especially the first episode. And I mean, the whole season was, but I think as a pilot, it was an excellent pilot. And I think most of season 1 is amazing. And season 2 is a great season as well. Although, in the middle, somewhere, there's some issues I had with the pacing of season 2 and some of the reveals and some of the stuff that ended up happening. But season 3 for me is at a different level. Like, this is really good. I'm captivated on my television every week watching this, staying up till midnight the night before and watching it at my television, shut off all my lights, getting into it. And this was an episode that just had my heart beating the whole goddamn time. Sorry, Vince. I feel like, I owed that to the world. And we also have people over there on the Phil the Issues Guy channel. Thank you to everyone over there. Miss Duncan the Tall, Fletcher. We got Glues, Guns N' Roses, Vanessa, PM, Glenn Carter, Mark A. Houston. Don't rush the damn process. And Oltorf. Great to see all of my friends over there on the Issues program. And if all of you guys haven't, make sure you subscribe to both channels. The episode, it was a 45-minute episode, and then with like the intro part, and then the scenes from last week, and then all that sort of stuff, the credits and the song. It's, we probably got like 40 minutes of a show. And I don't want to be, I'm complaining about wanting more of a good thing. That's it. But this show is awesome in the sense that it comes back every year. We don't need to wait for it for 3 years for new seasons. So, this was a story they wanted to tell in this episode, but it did seem to go by quicker than other episodes have. That's all I'll say about that. I wanted more. This episode had me at the end like, give me more. And to tell the truth, that's kind of how it should make you feel in some ways, right? It was good. I wish it was longer. That's what everyone said to me in my entire life, Lola. It's good. I wish it was longer. We got Julie B. Deep Dives in the live chat. We've got all of our friends. Randall doesn't deserve any of this. I mean, does he? Does Randall deserve some of it? No, you're right. Randall does not deserve all of this. But it's fun to watch. Randall's just one of those guys that I don't know why, but from a television standpoint, I just enjoy bad stuff happening to him. Not the actor greats, he's freaking awesome. And he creates so much ability of me kind of laughing. And I love how Boyd was dealing with him. Just Boyd had amazing, how do I explain this? Like, fuck you energy in this episode. He had just amazing, like everything was, motherfucker. He was freaking, I love it. Another really wild episode. I am starting to like Randall as well in this warped way. He just has this survivor kind of vibe about him. Is he gonna have a Sawyer like vibe? Because I'm gonna mention another. Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna end up talking about Lost too much and anger some people. But there was something in tonight's episode that people that know what I'm talking about will understand this reference. People that don't, did anyone else think the cop was like Ana Lucia? Like, did Ana Lucia pop up in this episode for a second? I don't know, maybe not that bad, but she was pretty horrible. But I was screaming and I wrote over my notes and like with big letters, cop is reminding me of giving me Ana Lucia energy. If anyone knows what I'm talking about. From downtown with a super chat donation. Thank you so much from downtown town. Is that like multiple towns? Like not just one town that you're from downtown town? Well, you got a new mole theory. It's Jasper. It's that creepy marionette bastard. I don't know why they say it like that. Bastard. It is a bastard, but he is. He's creepy. That was creepier than there was so much creep in this episode. Like, there's a hole in Nikki, dear Fatima, dear. She was like me licking the brownie batter. I would like someone's cooking brownies and I go, or cookies or something in the cookie dough and you're like licking the dish. She was sticking her finger in there like she's licking the dish. Like she was like, oh, let me scoop up all that blood and like last week. You know, it's one thing for her to eat trash. You know, we've all ate trash. I worked as a dishwasher and I ate trash daily because I was poor. I am poor, but, you know, I was poorer and I needed to eat plate food, trashy food that was coming out of someone's plate. You know, and Fatima's taking it a step further, but you know, there's an extra layer of being like, you know, the kid that's putting the finger in the blood pot and go, I can't even do it. That was disgusting. That viscerally made me kind of feel a little ill. Yeah, it did. And I think in a good way, like not in a good way, like not that I'm, you know, I enjoy that kind of thing. Not that kind of good way. I mean a good way in the sense that it made me feel like gross in what they were trying to present to me in that moment. Like it was disgusting. Really, really disgusting. And I enjoyed every goddamn moment of it. That it was creepy, but that's a step further than just eating the rotted garbage, right? You know, that's taking things to the next level. You know, you're exceeding your gross expectations there, Fatima, and now you've gone to sticking your finger in a bullet wound and eating blood like it's brownie batter. That was bad, and I don't mean bad as in like it was bad, like bad as in ugh. I want to thank Sody Teflon and Pete Easy for giving me my shirt, sending me my shirt. Can't break me. And they were sure trying, and these shirts are awesome. I'm not saying this lightly. You get a lot of t-shirts and they're flimsy pieces of shit. These things are like, they're thick. The print is fucking good too. Pete Easy does a great job. And thank you to Tony for sending me this shirt. And both of them for sending me the shirt. So get your damn t-shirts. They're really nice. Okay, let's keep going. But Fatima was gross. That was gross. She's sticking it in there, flicking her finger around, licking the bowl. She might have licked the bloody bowl. It was disgusting. We got Carla Way. Great to see Carla Way in the live chat. Good day, folks. I can't chat today as it's the hubby's birthday and I want to cook up an epic feast. Just wanted to say hi. You better not be putting Fatima like Nikki body blood in there. Like, are you adding a spring full of Nikki makes the cookies go around? Don't do that, Carla. Yes, Randall deserved it if we talk about it. Thank you, Carla. Fatima said she was bitter. What's wrong with her eating a little girl? Fair enough. She did yell at her in the bathroom. She deserves to make a little snack of Nikki. Gross. Yeah, you gonna put a little Nikki on the side for your husband? Oh, Carla. Bad. Great to see Steph Snow in the live chat. I'm starting to love Randall. I'm scared for him, says Greek girl. I keep wanting to say geek, but it's Greek girl. And Glues Guns N' Roses says Randall has stepped up in selflessness way more than a lot of secondary characters. He's also a bigger dickhole than all the characters. That's why, again, I have to do a separate stream where I make all these references to the people that actually give a shit, because most people probably don't want to hear these random references. But he's starting to give me Sawyer energy a little bit. But just like this damn cop is full analyst Lucia. But yeah, Fatima's going to eat that poor lady. It did seem like that. And Vanessa Wicked gave 5 gift memberships to Fill the Issues Guy. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for those gift memberships. The man, Tony Pajamas is one of our new members. Shara Stories, horror fan. Star, and the Bridge Nation were all gifted memberships by Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa. That means so much. It means so much for you guys supporting both our channels. I also got a poll over on my channel right now. Did Boyd make the right choice? Like, should he have just like killed Randall? You know, I don't mean leaving him there. Like leaving him there, obviously. You know, it was 3 people versus 1 person in that situation. And what did Randall really want to do? Like go in there and step in between with they're idiots rolling around outside with all the monsters around. Whatever. I know they're trying to be selfless and help people. People can call me out here, you know. Come on, Phil, they're trying to help people. I know they're trying to help people. You know, but Randall's doing the stupid hero ball all over the place. I'll be back. Oh, go get the, what was it? Toolbox. You know, come on, buddy. Wait for Boyd, dude. Go together. Clear it. Watch each other's back. But Randall's like, I'm freaking Superman. I'm going to go do this myself. And Boyd just like, wait up. By the time they said anything, Boyd was put in the no-win position. He was in a Kobayashi Maru. And he had to make a difficult choice. And he's not James T. And he's not James T. Kirk. Once I say that, I have to start talking like that, like an idiot. But let's go back into the live motherfucking chat here and see what you guys have to say. Randall saved Tabitha. He did. He's the one that got his superhero skills saved Tabitha, but also got his butt kicked and put him in a weird position. He should have waited for Boyd, at least in my mind. I think Randall is simultaneously a selfless, pretty good guy at core. I think people can argue with me. Cody can argue with me when he gets back. I think Randall generally has a good heart. He's trying to want to do good things. He just suffers from superheroitis, leads main character disorder, superheroitis disease. And it's not between that and Fatima thinking sticking her finger in the hole of brownie batter. Tony, she wasn't just enjoying, she wasn't just sticking her finger in there. She was me licking the bowl when someone makes brownies or cookies.
She was about that life. She was doing her whole thing. She put 2 fingers in there. She was a 2-fingerer.
She was.
She was got 2 fingers up in that piece. You know what I mean?
That bullet hole wanted 2 fingers, Tony. It did.
Yeah. She stuck 2 fingers up in that biatch. She was about that life. You know what I mean? Before we get it, so normally we have 2 celebrity come on and all that good stuff, but I decided we're going to take a couple of times. We're not going to do it just so that we can have some other YouTubers join us. But the problem was I forgot to ask the YouTubers. So you just
sometimes it's fun for just us to talk to.
Yeah. So then you're rocking with the Donna and Phil the Issues guy. And listen. Tabitha is back, right? And everything. And this is something that I told you was going to happen and everything else like that. And listen, I'm not the type of person to tell you that I told you.
I fucking told you.
That's a great clip. Good clip you pulled.
So, it ain't me that's telling you this stuff. I'm telling you. It is a lot to do about that. Nothing I can do about that. What's up to everybody out there? Little cosmopolitan action tonight. We're doing that tonight. We're fancy man. We're fancy. The people say Tabitha's back way too fast. I talked about that a little bit in my video that I put out about it. You know what I mean? And I said that I think that they brought it back on the right time. I can understand people wanting to her to be out there more. What more is she gonna do?
Yeah,
we know it already. We got the plot point real quick. It's that damn bottle tree, the first one. We know that's the key to this whole shit. Is getting to that bottle tree, to the first one. It's gonna take us somewhere, but they can't do that now. Probably season 5 or the last season, you finally make it to that bottle tree. But we know that's where they were going, and they prevented her from going there for this reason. There'd be no other reason to stop her from going there.
You also made a great point in the video. Correct me if I'm not making it clear, but she's going around telling everyone about it, just speaking willy-nilly. She's not keeping that a secret. She's shouting from the hills of what happened left and right. She's telling the priest, she's telling the ambulance drivers, the cop, and you put it on the video. The cop Anna Lucia, I'm going to call that cop from now on. People that have seen Lost will know what I'm talking about. Handcuffs her and stuff like that. What is going to happen if she starts saying that? She's going to end up locked up somewhere. So they almost needed to get her back, because if she keeps talking like that, the next logical thing is for her to be thrown in a jail cell. Then how does she get out? Like, the only place for her story to kind of go from there, and if they don't get to that tree, Tony, is going back there. Like, you can't just, what's she gonna go running around hiding from the cops? They're looking for her at that point. We find out when she's on the ambulance, we've been looking for you. Like, they'd be looking for her anyway. They find out she contacted her family. The family member would call the police. There'd be a manhunt. Like, unless you want to do a season of that stuff, I don't see her staying out there that long. It makes sense to go back.
Yeah, she had to go back. Again, just like you said, she's just gonna go to the psychiatric ward. There's nowhere for her to go. You know what I mean? So the only place for her to go, you know what I mean, is going back to Farmville. And that's how she got back. And I told you it was gonna be through the ambulance. I told you they were gonna see the tree when they drove the ambulance. All that shit happened. Listen, the only thing I didn't get right about that thing was I thought that the father would call the cops on her while she was in the basement. But I couldn't predict. Who could have predicted that the dad was going to get into a goddamn car accident? Who would have seen that? You know what I mean? And the glue guns and roses over on the Fill the Issues Guys channel saying the cop scene really pissed me off. They do that in shows, movies a lot. The cop had no right to cuff her to the bar. Was she being detained or violent and harm to herself? Again, when we look at the police officers, I guess they're trying to give you a depiction of the cops who feel they have more authority than they actually do, and she thought because she's the cop in the situation again. And you see when she ran up the Colony House, let me in, I'm a cop. Like that's the reason to let you in, because you're a cop. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reason why we're going to do those things. Everything you have to do, we have to listen to you because you're a cop. But we see exactly what type of cop you are. You know what I mean? Because the bottom line is she is a cop, but when the going got tough, she ran and cuffed them and left those motherfuckers. Like,
oh fuck it, no protect and serve there. And then you said this in your video, I believe, after she's like firing at these things 100 times, I don't know how many rounds she put off into these motherfuckers, and nothing happened. And she's still firing. She's getting close to the house, and she's not aware of her surroundings. And like right there, like shoots. It's, and that's why I'll say it 100 times tonight, to the point of people being sick of it. Tony, I know you haven't seen Lost. This is another one, not a one for one, but there's a comparison character on Lost that shows up and does something not dissimilar to this, and it's like an asshole kind of cop character that makes a stupid decision like this. And I think I hate this character. I want her to die soon. and I love how Boyd dealt with her too. Officer, like, I love how he's just calling her off, like, officer, you fucked up. And I wish Donna didn't stop me. He was gonna throw her outside. He's gonna throw her in the box.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I like the way she looks, but I don't like her.
Remember, I'm talking about a television character, not a human.
Yes, good looking girl. I don't mind. We'll see what her character goes from here. And how it all develops and everything else from all her and everything else. It all depends how it actually. And thank you for someone who just gifted a membership. Fatima gifted a membership. Thank you so much. I know we got a super chat on your line. Did you see it? It was so.
No, I can go over to it. Let me see. Fan funding. No, it was a gifted membership, and thank you, Vanessa.
Oh, that's what it. I thought it was a super chat. You sure?
I think I got one.
From downtown.
It might have been yours.
This one from downtown. Oh. That's you, right?
I know. I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah. Fatima and the cop lady just moved to the top of mine. They need to get their ass.
I would agree with that as well. So Fatima sticking her finger in the bloody sieve thing, Tony. Like
2 fingers deep.
2 fingers deep. I was talking about this before you got on. That's a major progression from last week's eating garbage, rotted food. There's one thing to eat rotted food. This is like a step up in the creepy weirdness thing. Is she turning into something, or is that to feed the baby, do you think?
Yeah, that's not licking the eggshell, right? No. That's not crunching no ice. That's not that. The fact that she went in there specifically to do it. So she already had the urge when she seen her lay there dead. She said, I gotta get closer to it. Now, in my other video I did, I told you that that dude was drinking blood from a baby skull and that maybe blood had something to do with her character. I thought it was going to be a blood sacrifice. I didn't think she was going to be some vampire chick coming up over here. I thought it was going to be a blood sacrifice to the baby. That's what it was. But you know what I mean? That we seen exactly what it was, that she's just drinking the blood. Now, again, we have to ask ourselves the question: did they make the food rotten to feed to nourish the baby? Does the baby drink blood? And you know, while it's in the embryonic sac, is it blood born? Do you need blood to keep this baby going? Is that what's going on here? Because I can't see her doing it for her own pleasure unless she's turned into a monster. That's the only way.
And that's like the question: is she? I think it's for the baby too. Whatever's growing inside of her, it's feeding whatever's growing inside of her.
We got a super chat from Saggy Star. Thank you so much. As Fatima, pregnancy is just dumb to me. Please explain why she would even care. I feel like I keep asking the same question. Like why you should even care. This seems to be the big thing of the season, is this baby. It seems that that's what we keep constantly getting brought back to when we look at the episode titles, the upcoming. Everything has to do with this baby. So this baby is the key to this whole season. The whole season is based around this baby. How do you think? Do you think that's a good plot point for it?
I'm finding it relatively interesting because there's a lot of uneasiness and creepiness around it, and they're kind of bringing it in more mixed with. I know I get a lot of shit directly from you and from others of being, you know, like wishy-washy on certain points. I go back and forth, you know, I'll float like the wind on some things. I was all aboard 100% team Kimono Girl is Fatima, and then I was sort of like, I don't know, now I'm back 100%. Like tonight they literally cut from her to the kimono late. Like there was, like when they showed it, I believe it was like a scene that they cut from her right to like Elgin seeing it, but I'd have to watch the episode again. But it was like a pretty quick cut. Tonight's episode, the voice, the help me thing, I was back on like, I think this is Fatima in this episode. So I think it's all kind of wrapped in together, and it's all sort of one thing that's sort of coming from both ends of the foreshadowing of the horror that's coming with whatever's growing inside her. So I'm more invested in this than I was into Cicadas or even the first season with stuff that we saw. That like I'm actually invested in this in a Dream Child kind of way.
Listen, I said it from the jump. It's her. I'm still sticking with it. First time I seen it, I said it was her. And when she was in the tub water with Elgin, it's the same chick, same thing. I'm telling you, it's her. And listen, you're gonna see this chick get a straw out next time, like and drink that chick like she's a Capri Sun. That's Fatima's next move. That's the next move. That's the next move for her. That's what you're gonna see go down with this chick. I'm trying to tell you, that's the way you're gonna see it. So you gotta get one of them swirly ones too that got the little swirls in it, so it goes around the circle where she has that stuff go out. And she got to stick it right in there to suck that blood out of that chick. Nice at T. Thank you, super chat. So after this episode, I have to take Donna. I have to take Donna is the mold off the table from that. I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? I'm not there yet. What about you, Phil? You there to take Donna off the table as the mole?
I don't know. Yes. Oh, no, because I think tonight actually might have shown guilt. I think tonight some of what she might be feeling is the weight of some of the stuff that she's dealing with. But I don't know. I think Liz is a great enough actress that I believe she's playing it both ways. She's playing it like she could be up to some nefarious stuff or not up to some nefarious stuff. Mm-hmm. That being said, amazing performance by Liz tonight. Like she showed, you said it in your video about never seeing Donna like that. It's like, we've never seen Liz act like that. Or like, I haven't seen all the things she's done, but she showed a different gear in her, like a dramatic, emotional side of her acting that I haven't seen on this show yet. That was really awesome. And like, I was feeling that. You know, feeling her moment with Boyd. I, like Boyd, thought she was about to lecture him. Like that was a surprise for me. This episode kind of surprised me a couple times, Tony, with stuff. So I don't think this takes Donna off the hook.
No, me either. I think that this gets, as you said, show guilt. it could just show that, you know, she's institutionalized and she's become attached to these people, and she's not doing a job. I think still Randall was right. I think Randall's going to be proven to be right when it's all said and done. That's just the way it's going to go. Fatima says, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not doing any finger licking blood. That would be the moment she needs to say something. Yeah, you would think that at that time when you get that craving, that it's time to come clean. Like, listen, I'm drinking people's blood now, man. Like, something's wrong with me, doctor.
Yeah,
something's wrong with me. I never had craving for blood. Now all of a sudden I'm eating fucking. She gonna dip that damn dead carrot up in that chick and eat the carrot with the blood on it.
Dude, she's totally gonna make a dip out of it. You know?
Yeah, that's her next stop here, without a doubt. Chris, what if Fatima attacks the colony house similarly to what Boyd's wife did, and Ellis has to put her down the way Boyd had to? I had said in the video already that I think Ellis will kill her. I don't know how, but I think that there's going to be a parallel there that Ellis will kill her. What do you think about that?
I could see something like that tonight. And to your point, Tony, she also was rational enough in it to send Ellis out of the room. Mm-hmm. She did not. This was you said this earlier, and it's an excellent point, dude. This wasn't a feel thing. This wasn't she got the or if she did, she get the cravings, but she saw this girl die, and she rationally thought to herself, I have to go in there, send my husband away so I can go 2 fingers deep in the brownie bowl and get a little red pudding. Like, that was freaking creepy. And it was a decision she made, Tony, that shows her mind's being affected now too. Like she's, and what Marielle said to her indirectly, kind of like, spoiler alert for Game of Thrones, like Sam convincing Ollie it's okay, like kind of convinced her it was okay to do whatever she needs to do to protect the baby. So it kind of rationale to her, okay, if I have to eat blood, I'll eat blood. And so it was sort of like Marielle almost gave her permission for it. It's really messed up.
All right, we have from downtown says Jasper is the mold. Who else can slip in the rooms? Undetectable ear hustle conversation related. Jasper is the mold. Jasper is the ventriloquist dummy.
Yep.
That's in the tunnel. I don't know if he's the mole, but I had listen, and I tell y'all that this thing had secrets and that there was gonna be a note in this motherfucker.
I fucking told you.
We're gonna get a lot of play out of that.
I told you that this Jasper was coming back. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I told you Jasper had a pivotal part to play. And I told you, when you have a mannequin in a horror movie, they have to talk. Mm-hmm. That's just the trope. Any horror movie you ever watch as a mannequin, I guarantee you, it talks.
It has to.
That's just what it does.
That's why it's there.
There's no other way around. You have to. That's why you bring it in there.
Yeah, that's why it's there.
That's why you bring it in there and stuff. There's no doubt about it. So people have said, Shaggy Star says that she received a copy of this book. It's disappearing here. Let's keep it right here. Of the Don Tony Teflon's book. Let me put it in where you can actually see it, because of the blue screen and stuff. It's hard to see. Darkness Before the Dawn. I just got my copies in. I ordered a bunch of copies, got them in. So the people who won them, I will be sending out your copy. Give me till Wednesday on my day off to actually do it, because I work late and stuff. So give me till Wednesday, but no later than Wednesday, I will have these out. I promise you, I will have those out no later than Monday. All right, for you and everything else. Again, you can hit the link if you want to help the Don out, and you really do. Even if you don't want to send a super chat, I'd rather you just go and buy the book right now instead of send the super chat. Go out there, buy the book. Shadows of Deception, the darkest before the dawn. Go definitely do that. I truly would appreciate that. All right, we're gonna get into the recap, man.
Okay, two quick super chats on my channel I want to get to. Saggy Star says, Phil, what do you think was outside the cabins? We'll talk about that in the recap, because I know Tony had a little bit of an issue with that scene, and I want to get into that a little bit as well. That's the second time we heard something outside. I'll say basic answer to that: whatever Jade moved, that the totem that caused something to be able to walk up, was able to walk up on them. Maybe they'll wake up the next morning and Dale and the other cabin will be dead. Like who knows? Maybe there'll be something like that happens like the next day, but we'll have to see about that. It was nothing good was outside. It's whatever could walk up there now because Jade fucked that thing up. And Winter asks, that creepy music plays every time Fatima does weird shit, kills me. Absolutely, because she's digging in 2 fingers deep, as Tony says.
2 fingers deep, because she put one and that wasn't enough.
No.
The one wasn't enough. She had to stick that second finger up in there. I thought she was going to start fisting her. It really seemed like she was going to go for it.
It was that kind of party, Tony.
It's for her. It's definitely that type of party for her. It's a Diddy party.
oh no! And she brought the 10 cases of lube to oh no! Oh no! This is yes Diddy. This isn't no Diddy. This is definitely yes Diddy. But Tony, I know it's time. Well, you want to get into this thing? Let's do it. Let's do it.
100%. Let's hit it off.
Okay, recap, baby. Recap. Oh, do I have to do this again?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, now that I've made a fool out of myself, let's get into this recap, Tony.
This is the recap.
Okay, that was fun.
If I had somewhere to run, I would have run with you.
Oh, thank you. They got. I want to get just like a treadmill for the background, Tony, or like a forever pool. I can just jump in and do the whole swimming and stuff. It's actually the only cardio I get, so I do appreciate it. Okay, the episode opens up right where we left off at the tree. The cop and the ambulance folks, the ambulance are calling on the radio, just static, and they can't move the tree. Tabitha comes outside and she says, I told you so. No, she says, look, you motherfuckers, we can't go. Let's get back in and keep driving. And then this is the most we've seen it, Tony, and it gets real creepy. All the crows come in and they start circling around. Who's controlling the crows?
You know, that is an interesting question. Who exactly controls the crows? I think the crows are more of a warning sign. I think the crows. So I believe that there's 2 entities in here. There's the entities that are controlling this whole thing, and then the ones that I believe are the aliens that are captured and want to go. I believe that the entities that are captured and want to go are the crows, and the aliens are controlling the crows, the ones that want to get out of there, and they're trying to warn people that they fucked up. And people look at the crows like it's a bad thing, but it really is just a warning. I think that they're controlling them, trying to get them out of there, but it's already too late.
And yes, 3 Rice, I'm totally out of breath. I'm very glad that Tony talked right there. I was like, oh my God, I have to catch my breath there for a second. I have to work on my cardio. But yes, 3 Rice, I was totally out of breath there for a second.
Go to Shannon Sharp. Don't worry about it.
Okay. You're gonna call me Unk now or something? No, anyways, but I think it's definitely whoever's controlling them. I do think there's some sort of a security system. I don't know if they're directly controlled. Someone like pushes a button to send them out. But there was a couple of interesting moments with the other beings talking. We'll get to this in a second with the gym scene. But I do want to mention this even before we get to it, that the person on the phone, it's the next scene. So we'll just talk about it. Anyways, Blood Raven sends all the birds around. It's like the Hitchcock, the birds. It's pretty creepy. And then the cop's like, yeah, let's take a detour. And Tabitha's just like, it's not going to work. So we go off to Ethan looking at the pictures. As Tony pointed out in his video, maybe Victor and his sister. And he gets a call from Thomas. The Thomas creature. I know you think it might be the same guy on the phone, and I kind of think so too as well. Maybe.
You heard the voice
same guy.
Right?
It did change.
He said he wasn't playing the game no more, right? He was doing it. What's up, Jim?
There's an interesting moment there, Tony. That's the scene I wanted to talk about when he goes, hey, Jim. He says, hey, Jim, the moment Jim puts it up to his ear, like he's watching and knows when Jim is listening. He didn't say, hey, like Jim's got the phone like here in his hand and he's not talking there. It was like right here. And then it goes, hey, Jim, those are my kids now. And it was a really creepy moment. I was going to also ask, could the voice on the phone be the boy in white?
Listen. I can't tell you that it's not. It may be from downtown. Thank you for super chats. Now Tabitha's back. Do we think exiting from Friendville will be easy from now on? I don't think it'll be easy at all. I think that as we've seen from what's going on with her, people is like, how the fuck you? Why the fuck you here? How the fuck you get back? So I don't think it's going to be easy, because I don't think it's going to be easy at all. People may think it's easy. I mean, is someone going to go be stupid enough to jump off the tower building and see if they make it? Listen, they can give it a shot. Who knows if someone's going to be that dumb? Do we have dumb enough people in that town to do something stupid like that? You know,
I mean, Randall is there, and if I was. Yeah, Randall's there, and if I was out of weed and Fatima didn't have any more, I'd be like, I gotta jump off this thing. I might consider it.
So as for the back to the voice, I do believe it's the same voice that spoke to Jim in the antenna. But again, how do we know that these voices are bad? As I said before, they could just be trying to warn you, just like the radio is trying to warn you. The voices could be warning you too. Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole. Well, why? Because the monsters live underneath you, and she fell down in the pit, and now she's down there. Your son is coming back. You got the voice saying your wife's coming back in the ambulance. She needs help. And she actually did come back in the ambulance and need help. So are these voices that are talking to him really evil, or are they just trying to get their attention?
That's a very good point. I think the voice that talks to him, whether it's the boy in the white, whether it's the same person that warned Jim about the basement stuff, he doesn't say anything real bad here. I guess the worst thing, he encourages Ethan to go outside. And then with the whole thing there, you're not your kids anymore. But we'll get to in a second. But ultimately, you're right. All the voice really does is say the truth. It says, Tabitha's showing up. She's going to need your help. And she did need the help. Like, basically, the voice is why Jim was there to play Super Jim, and Randall was there to play Superstar and get the toolbox, and everything happened because of that situation. Unless they wanted to do it as a big plan to fuck with Boyd, but that's an awful big plan. To a lot of steps that need to kind of go to get to that point, to know that Boyd would go out there with Randall to do this, So it makes more sense that maybe that voice was trying to help a little bit, but also fuck with Jim, because he comes in there. Jim's like, who are you talking to? Who he's talking to, Jim? Like, who else would he be on talking about the phone?
A grandma, Jim. Who you think I'm talking to? You know who's been calling.
Like, who called you yesterday? Yeah, who called you yesterday, Jim? Come on.
Yeah, who you talking to? Donna just called me up. That's who I'm talking to. You think I'm talking to, Jimbo. So yeah, and as for how do they know? There's only two ways it goes. Whether there's some type of surveillance system that's inside the house that we just don't know about, or we're dealing with some type of fourth dimensional creature that can see through the walls and see everything that's going on at once. And that's the only thing that it could be. It could only be the one of those two things: surveillance system that we don't know, or something else going on there. And that's the only way I could see.
Like the puppet Jasper's sitting in the corner of all these scenes. You go back and you really look at the shot, and every scene has a little Jasper sitting in the corner watching. So the voice says to Jim, we said this a couple times, it calls him right by Jim, and it says, they're not your children anymore. I think pretty much everyone that heard that means that they're the town's children now. Like they're the new children of the town, or something like that. I don't know if there's any other interpretations people got from that. They're not your kids anymore.
Yeah, well, they're going to become the Nkui kids or something
right,
like
they're
that.
The next Nkui kids.
That's all I could see.
Yeah. Exactly. And so Jim smashes the phone. Jim goes Hulk smash on the phone in a very fun scene. And then he goes to Ethan. He's like, Ethan, what did they say? And then he grabs him like Jack Bauer. Tell me what you know. He shakes him. Tell me what you know, Ethan. And he says, Mom's on the ambulance, alive, and needs our help. And then we go into our intro. Really awesome stuff. We go back in after our intro, back to Elgin, Nikki, and the bus driver, and Tilly. Nikki's talking about the dead bird. No one wants to touch the dead bird. Bus driver saying it's got bad juju, and turns to Tilly, goes, Tilly, stop being an idiot. No one needs your bad juju with the tarot cards in a place like this. Fair point.
Yeah, geez, you gonna break a Ouija board out next, Tilly? What do you want to do, Tilly? This is not the place to be having tarot cards. I don't.
Yeah, this is
Everything we've seen. The last thing we need is a fucking tarot card deck. We don't need anything else going on here.
Yeah, it's awful. And Donna comes in and kind of cleans the shit up. No one bicker, and asks Elgin if he's okay. And this was a great episode for Elgin. This was great to have Nathan on last week, and this was a really good episode for him. He had some good stuff to do in this one. And he's like, no, I'm fine. And she gives him this look that this is another moment that was kind of Donna Moley. She gives him a look like, I know you're not okay, but I'm not going to push. See you later. Mm-hmm. You're okay. You're right where I want you to be. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into things. So then we go over to Marielle caring for Fatima. And I've mentioned this to you before, Tony. This season, I wasn't a big fan of Marielle last year. I just didn't like the way they were portraying her character. I like her this season. Like, I can kind of relate to her character, and I thought she did a good job in this episode and was likable. And when she was needed to be likable, and you kind of believed, she's not as good of a medical personnel as Christy. She's not like a superhero like the professor from Gilligan's Island, like Christy is, who could do some magic like this. And she's, she didn't fuck up. She did what she could, and it didn't happen. You could feel the weight on her in there. I thought the actress did a really good job. Anyway, she's caring for Fatima.
The best episode that she had, but again, it's the most she had also. I mean, last season, really, she got to just lay down there with Chrissy, do a couple of drug twitches, and basically that was her whole character point. Now she's actually getting to, now that she's not on drugs or anything, you can actually see her, acting. And I think that I said this about a lot of people in this season have gotten a chance to flex their acting chops, and they've all been doing very good jobs on
it. Her and Ethan top of that list. And I do want to say something before it scrolls by, because I do want to make a quick mention of this, because it talks about something that happens at the end of the episode, but I do want to mention this, Tony, so we can talk about this briefly. But did MGM release the episode descriptions for the 10 episodes? Was it MGM that released that, or was that a leak?
That was
if they did it themselves, they totally ruined the Randall situation.
Yeah, that was on Rotten Tomatoes. So I would have to think that they released it to release Rotten Tomatoes to give it. Whether they did it or not, it was on Rotten Tomatoes. They don't really do that on the MGM site because they do an episode at a time, but they released all the episodes to IBMD and Rotten Tomatoes. So if you want to say that ruined Randall that we know.
Well, I will make a suggestion that if anyone watches, don't do that. Yes, it ruined the Randall situation for me, because I knew the whole time Randall was going to be alive. Someone said that as we were scrolling back. If you read the episode summaries, you knew Randall was never really in danger because he's in an episode description a couple of episodes down the line. So in retrospect, not that anyone's listening, or if they are listening, don't do that next year. Like it spoiled a little something indirectly, and something you didn't mean to spoil.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'd rather not have anything. I'd rather go into it all 100% blind. If I go in there 100%, I don't want nothing. All you gotta do is give me the teaser and not even the full trailer. I'll take the teaser and go. Imagine if we just had that teaser of him just doing that. Everything that we would see would all be brand new. Everything. I mean, I was able to figure out Tabitha was coming back because of the episode titles and the trailer. Right? If it didn't have that, we would never had it. No one would have known anything. So I'd rather just have a teaser. And that's it. No, nothing.
Whatever you should do for a show, look to what Better Call Saul did. Not that it's the greatest show of all time, just like in their episode descriptions for the final season, it was like Jimmy goes to the store. Like that's all I need. Like give me a word. I was like, what we can read into this? Like Jimmy opens a door. Like that's like the episode description. A boy does stuff. That's all I need.
I don't need anything else like that. It's funny, like when you talk about the greatest show of all time. I was just on Costume Co. Talking about The Sopranos over there, and then the Shadow Cat Beck said on top 3 shows, she had number 3 was Homicide.
Interesting.
And I was like, really? Homicide of all shows to be there. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't a good show, but I can't see it number 3.
It's influential in a lot of ways, especially from Wire and stuff. But I would put wire of like obviously much higher than that on that particular list. That being said, Tony, I realize that I'm a hypocrite because I literally posted on my channel over this weekend 2 leaked scenes. Like, so like I'm a complete hypocrite, but just to get like, 7,000 views on them, like whatever. So I don't like, I'm that guy too. Like if they're out there, I'll read them. I can't help do it. But in this situation particularly, I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the Randall situation. You kind of knew, if anyone who read those descriptions knew Randall was okay. But anyways, to get back to the recap, I just kind of wanted to mention that for a second.
100%, never wrong with that.
I saw somebody say it in the live chat. So we go off to Fatima's like, yeah, I found some stuff that I can eat to take care of the kid. And as I mentioned, Marielle's like, yeah, eat whatever you can to protect the kid. So we go off to Victor and Sarah in the room, and Tony, Victor was like a Borscht Belt comedian tonight. He was like, he's like, my family died, but I didn't murder him. You're the scariest girl. I trust you, scariest girl in town. He was just like, he was playing.
He was all on anytime. He was the master of the backhanded compliment. That's what I did. Like I knew a guy who was really good at that. He'd be like, wow, you're one of the greatest drummers I've ever seen. I haven't really seen that many. Like, he was master of the backhanded compliment. The master of it. Like he did it all, and he roasted Sarah. On again. But I said it in my video, and I told my theory, and I swear to God, better than I see any YouTuber put my theory out there. I swear. If I see it, I'm going to war with them. That Sarah is Eloise. I'm telling you now, that's what it's gonna be. I feel it in my bones that Sarah's gonna be Eloise. I just see it there. I know people are saying that Eloise is Tabitha, and it's gonna be Sarah somehow. It's gonna be Sarah.
She's the scariest person he knows.
Yes, it's gonna be Sarah. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I think it's gonna be. And it's and I know people say she's too young. It's not going. It's gonna be like a soul swap. That's what it's going on here. It's like soul swapping, and I'm telling you, this is what it's gonna be.
Saggy says, I love the leaked scenes, but I need a warning.
I just made a new channel with that same theory. You didn't do that. You're funny. You're funny. You're funny. That's funny. You didn't do that.
So we go up to Victor and Sarah in the room. They're upstairs talking about how his sister and him played in the house. Victor says mom and sister died. So at least from Victor's perspective, he thinks both of them are dead. But he did say some of the stuff we've heard before, him talk about a little bit before, and they're dead like Nathan, but he didn't murder them. And then he said they need enough sheets to make the fort. I have to remember when I was a boy, my mom tried to save everyone. She died. Everyone died, and I can't remember how or why. I have to remember because a lot's going to change soon. It's never snowed here before. Let's go in the basement. Secrets are for the basement. This is for upstairs stories. So, I mean, we'll talk more about them as we go, but like, you think she's the sister.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, listen, if Eloise is not at that cabin, that's the only other place I could see her being is outside that cabin. If she's out that cabin. And that's what I had said prior to this episode. If she's not outside that cabin, I don't think she's dead. If she's not outside that cabin, and she's not the one banging on the walls in the cabin with her people out there, it's Sarah. It's going to be Sarah when it's all said and done. And that would mean that she did die. And if it is her and she did die, and unless someone saved her and took her to those cabins and raised her out there trying to protect her, if she's dead, it's definitely her soul is inside of Sarah.
I love how the Casanova pugilist is saying Fatima is Eloise. Julie is held to Eloise.
Yeah, everyone's Eloise. And Prometheus Williams saying soul swapping alien factions at war. Tony, I didn't say anything about no alien factions at war. I never said that. I did say soul swap. That's what it seems to be. It seems to be that these souls are inside of each other. That's what they're hinting at here. That's the hint that I see when you deal with these chosen people. If his father is saying specifically, she was able to see everybody who came before her and fail, right? She wasn't those people because those people had died, but somehow she was able to see. The only way she could see it if somehow she had these souls inside of her somehow, and she had their memories. I mean, that's the only way I could look at it. No other way that she could see it, unless she has a magic mirror and she was looking at it and on loop, and they were just showing them all.
She has instant replay.
Get taken out, like everyone died. And how everyone, unless it did some shit like that. That's the only way I could see it being. So if that's almost an Elgin is Eloise.
Kylo Tren, good one.
It's a better chance of Elgin being Eloise than Elgin being Fatima's son. I'll tell you that. All right, what else? If it's not that, if it's not some soul swap, I don't know how they plan on doing it in the end. I just don't see it. It's the only way that solves the whole thing. And that's it. I can't see it being anything else. And listen, Eloise, maybe it's only the chosen. Maybe Eloise isn't the chosen. She can't do it. But if they can do it, if you look at everything Sarah's been through, all the trauma she's been through, let's go through it. Let's just break it down right here real quick. I'll do a video on it tomorrow, and I'll break it down on the video too. But let's do it right now real quick for the people who are live here with us, the 300 over 85 people that are here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let's go through it right now. We know that Victor talked to the boy in white. Sarah talked to the boy in white, right? We know those two things are true, right? We know Sarah is getting messages from somebody telling her to do stuff. Sarah is somehow uniquely connected to this place, as Father Khatri would say. He was uniquely connected to this place more than anybody else. Sarah has these seizures, and all of a sudden she sees shit when she has the seizures. Sarah is being forced to draw pictures of things, and we see Eloise, who has drawn pictures of things, right? Sarah also says that she heard a female voice instead of the voice that she heard before. She said it was a female voice this time that she was hearing in her head, and she never heard that voice before. Sarah's also the one who said that she knows that the boy in white is not a boy, all right? When you add all those things up and you put it in there, and I just gave you a whole bunch of hints there that I think that points to her being Eloise. These are the things here that makes me think that she's Eloise. She's in the tent. She's with Victor. She's the one comforting Victor. He didn't choose. I chose you because you're the scariest person in town. Or maybe somehow you realize that this is your sister and you chose her because you're comfortable around her. And that's why you did it and everything else. Right? So you can look at all these things and you put it together. To me, it makes perfect sense that Sarah in the end is Eloise. And the whole thing with Sarah, when it says that when she got in a missing poster, is inconsistent. When you look at her poster and everything else, where she was traveling from and everything else, it was a little inconsistent. It didn't mention anything about her brother in there at all. Didn't mention one thing about her brother being taken out too. Did not say one thing in that missing poster about her brother. But everyone else has said stuff about other people's family members that were with him, but didn't say anything about Sarah's brother. So to me, when I look at all these things and I put it together, I'm telling you, I think it could be a situation. That's what it's. Real quick, we're going to something else. Why do we assume they come back as the same gender race if it's reincarnation? I'm just assuming that because I think it would just be too crazy if Elgin just came up there and said, "Victor, I'm your sister." I don't know if that flies on television, right? I think if you want to keep it simple, you just have them come back. And if you look at Eloise and you look at Sarah, then they don't look like they would be too far apart.
I mean, I definitely think there could be something to the passing of the soul thing, and especially
when
with
the boy comes back and says, "Victor, I'm your sister." I don't know if you can pull that off.
Nah, it might not be, might not work.
Yeah, I don't know if that works there.
So
so maybe that's why they do it.
Where were we? Okay, so yeah, the ambulance is making loops, trying to make calls. It's nighttime. They keep riding away, looking for the highway. Tabitha's like, it's not safe. You got to get out of here. Don't go backwards. We got to go towards the town. They're like, we don't got to go to the town. We got to go towards the highway. We're just going to yada yada some of those ambulance scenes till we get to the important stuff. So we go off to our next scene, which is Boyd in the bus with Randall. Boyd and Randall scenes are the scenes I didn't know I wanted, but I love every moment of it. Like Harold was very good in this episode. Like every time he said fuck, fuckity, fuck, like his frustration level and the way he's showing that on camera is so visceral. Like I'm feeling his frustration. The way in this scene he kind of just is like shit talking Randall the whole time, like he's a new member of the just came into Oz and he's like the new cellmate, like he's just shit talking him like listen, Beecher, like it. And Boyd is just in the bus with Randall. He's just talking shit to him. Randall's like, you're playing shit, but I'll be a part of it. And Boyd's like, what's your game, dude? You could be sleeping on a sofa. Like, what the fuck, Randall?
It's none of your business.
Then you're good. Well, okay, fine, you fucking asshole. Like, shut the fuck up. You're a team player.
I just don't get it. What I don't get here is, I mean, we hear the words Randall said that people think here that dying is what I see. Yeah. Whatever he's seen is worse than death. Yeah. Right. He'd rather die than seeing whatever he's seen. Now that they bring this up twice this episode, so we have to get some confirmation of what they've seen, right? You think that's got to happen this season?
I don't want to say it because some people might not have read the descriptions, but yes, we're definitely going to get that later in the season. And I do think he echo the same words as Martin too? Like Martin said the tip of the spear. Or
yeah, the monsters are the tip of the spear.
Monster tip of the spear. So essentially it was a similar vibe of that, of like, if you think death and you think dying is the worst that could happen, what we've seen, and he implies to Boyd, like, you saw a little bit of it too. What we all saw was fucking hell. But Tony, to answer your question, yes, I do think we're going to get closure to this. And I actually like how the cicada stuff was used later in this episode.
Yeah, so, it seemed like, and they weren't trying to fuck with him while that was going on. Like they just let him lay there while all that shit was happening. We will open the phones lines up, so get ready if y'all have stuff you want to say and everything else. You know what I mean? You will be able to. We'll be able to talk to us personally. So if you have something to say to me personally or Phil Issues Guy, this way, we're gonna open the phones lines that we here for. I'm here for the heat. I'm here for the smoke. Whatever you got, you don't believe me, whatever, and you need me to explain something to you, I'll give you my best explanation. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know, but I have been wrong too. The motivational misfit said, if you were Tab, would you toss your kids out of the tower? No. No. No, I wouldn't. No one do that. Listen. No. Someone said, hey, drown your kids in the tub, they're going to be safe. No, not doing it. They're just not going to have to not be safe. I'm not pushing my kids out the window. I would never do that. Nah, never at all.
Your name's not Jamie Lannister. You're not pushing kids out a window, not even for love. Speaking of love, Kenny was loving Chrissy in this next scene. He's like looking at her with puppy dog eyes. And I know I agree with you about a lot of this stuff is nothing burgers, but it did emotionally get me a couple times in this scene. And I like the actors in this moment, but you're right. It's kind of a nothing burger scene. Chrissy's like hardcore telling Kenny what to do and like how to take care of her. They talk shit a little bit back and forth. And Kenny's kind of whining a little bit that yeah, my family's dead, but I'm really upset that I can't mac on you anymore. And she's like, and then Jade's like, could you mac in the morning, please? And then he gets up and starts drinking and says he's going to tell them. And they cut it right there before he tells them what happens. But basically
it was just nothing. It's like, it's a throwaway scene. In all honesty, they didn't have to have it in this episode. It didn't do anything to solve anything. Only thing we got, and while I'll just talk about the other scenes, only 2 scenes, so let's go right into it, is that they said that he's told them what he's seen, the vision that he's seen, how long he's been seeing these visions. Can he confirm that he's seen the visions for that long so that she believed him? And that he's seen this guy, then they heard the knock, and then she says, are you sure that was just a vision?
Right. The other thing that was about that scene got me a little misty eye emotional was the scene to get a direct reaction from Jade about Kenny's mom's death. In having him kind of, say, oh, yeah, I thought I just annoyed her, and Kenny to correct and be like, no, no, Jade, she really liked you. That got me a little misty, but it really didn't. We didn't need that. We knew she felt that way about Jade. So, I mean, I think that's the other. If anything else came from that scene, Tony, it would be that. But that's more of a character thing. It's not really a moving the plot along. It's more of important to show the importance of Jade's relationship with Kenny and Kenny's mom, and now him giving the emotions to her in that letter. I guess that's the other thing about that. But again, I wanted more about what was going on outside. I wanted to see follow up to Dale being a dick last week and seeing them all together I didn't know they'd be in 2 separate cabins. I wanted to see all 6 of them together, in there with some scary shit happening. So I'm with you, Tony, but I guess I did get a little emotional on the Jade and Kenny's mom stuff.
Mike King says, thank you for super chat. They can't kill Boyd because he is not a reincarnation. Love from Tony from Teflon from Finland. Thank you for the super chat from Finland, all the way from the land of Finland over there. I don't know. I think they could kill Jade, but I think they choose not to. We'll get to all these super chats. We're done with the recap after this. But I promise you, we'll get to all of them. Yeah, I just think that they don't want to kill. They don't want to kill Boyd. That's obviously he's a star of the show. He has plot armor. He's not getting killed. But when you put him in situations like the chick dangling the keys, obviously he can be killed. He should be dead. So they're giving him the reason is that they want to break Boyd over everyone. They want to break him, and that's why they're not killing him. I think they can kill him. We've seen them wound him. We've seen them grab his arm and hurt his arm. So he's possible to be killed. They just choose not to.
Yeah, and they definitely had opportunities to kill a lot of people tonight, and they chose not to. Like this was an interesting episode in that way of like who they chose not to kill tonight. Like they were more tactical and realized that hurting Boyd more in the eyes of everyone in town would be keeping Randall alive. And that's something to keep in mind through all of this. So just to zip this a little bit, Victor is in building the fort, telling him, and he's in the cellar with his sister and mom. His mom told him to hide. Eloise didn't listen and went off and went to the cabins or something else, or died too. But as someone asked in the chat, we didn't see one of Eloise's items in that box. Eloise, did he find Eloise's body? We don't know. So he says he stayed till the morning, came out and the bodies were everywhere. We flash back to him as a child, and that's where he met the boy in white. And it's a real creepy scene with the boy in white waving and and young Victor waving.
Same scene we seen earlier.
Exactly.
But the problem with this, and I've had this problem from the first time I seen it, is that everybody's on the street dead. Now, if these monsters were there before this happened, and why would everyone be outside at that same time to get killed?
Yeah.
Unless this was the first appearance of the monsters, then they wouldn't know what would be going on. That would make sense for them to die. But if the monsters were already there, why were they all outside?
That's a good
at night. Why were they all there at night outside at the same time where they all got killed? If they've been hiding this whole time, why would they be out? It just doesn't make sense to me unless it's just that this is the first time the monsters arrive. I don't know what the answer is there, but it just doesn't make any sense that all of a sudden everybody just died. Everybody's outside and they all get gutted. I just don't know why.
I'm trying to remember what Victor says earlier in the episode. If he makes mention of the monsters coming when they hit upstairs or hit in the basement, but I don't know. It's a good point, Tony, that might have been the first time that they just show up. So, and also you talked about this earlier, Victor and Sarah kind of connect on the fact of that she's like, oh, the boy in white too, which was kind of a good moment to help. And Victor says the boy in white told him to gather items to not bury the bodies and gather these little items to make memories. And like, it's like a Horcrux or something, like he projected his memories into these items. And Sarah gives us basically what's going to happen. Sarah's like, oh, if you look at this stuff, you're going to get the memories, right? And Vic says, yes. And why do you need me? Because you're the scariest person I know, and I don't want to be alone. So we go back to Boyd and Randall, and Randall is jumpy all over the place, and Boyd's like, are you always this jumpy? And this is interesting where Randall starts saying, like, these things are a creature of habit. The nurse comes and sees me first. You mentioned this in your video. One of them hangs up on swings and dangles their legs.
Like a child.
like a child, yeah, like in like trying to find their humanity or something. And Boyd starts to listen and is like, wow, you really watch these dudes and know their patterns. And in the ambulance, Tabitha's trying to talk to the cop who's being obstinate and explain to them about the town. And right now, Tony, everything starts editing quicker. You know, everything starts like the speed of this episode starts building up here as it cuts back and forth as the scenes sort of combine. As Tabitha's like trying to get the cop to stop, and they're like, "Fuck you." Boyd and Randall see the ambulance, and so do Ethan and Jim. And then Ethan runs out of the house again. Tony.
Yeah, you got to hit him with a brick. Like, it's too much now. It's too much. You got Ethan's out of control. And I understand, you know, listen, Kenny's father was out of control, right? He couldn't help himself. So they locked him in the basement. It's time for Ethan to get it's time for Ethan to get locked in the basement.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to lock him in the basement or something. He's too reckless. He's too emotional. He's going out for goats. He's going after ambulance chasing now. It's too much. You got to lock him in the basement. It's just too much. His mom. I don't care his mom. He don't know his mom is really there. He could play this kid. He ran outside for a goddamn goat.
Right. He knew that wasn't Tom's. He said, "Who are you really?" He even knew he was getting played or something. And he's still going out there without Jim's help, without waiting for Julie. Ethan, take a beat, dude. You know, come on.
Yeah, you got to do something. Nigel, her thing was super. What up, Tony? What did Thomas mean by your children? We talked about that a little bit earlier today, but we thought that he was saying that it's the in fact, Anna, you want to come on here right now with us, Anna? I see you out there. You got a lot to say, Anna. People have never seen you in person on this channel, on this show. So I would love to get Anna. Anna, in a few days, I'll send you the link. You know where I'll send it to you and stuff. You could take a second, you know, to come on if you want. But if you want to come on, Anna, we were talking more about them being the town's children, and that's why we think he said it and stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, the ambulance sees a body laying on the ground, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta stop for that body." And Tabitha gets cuffed. We already talked about that. And Tabitha's screaming, "You're all gonna die!" And they go out and they go approach this like Betty Draper girl on the ground, no pulse, and goes into full creature mode and hacks up the ambulance guys. And the cop pulls out the gun, starts shooting, and nothing happens, of course. And then the cops get surrounded on both sides. I also want to mention that the creature screamed, and we're going to talk about this later, but Jasper screamed the same way as the monsters. Like when they show Jasper, it's my stupid theory. Everyone noticed that, but you know, like I think that was the show being like, "Yep, Jasper could be our big bad."
Yeah, listen, I know people thinking Jasper, but again, when we hear these things, we got to start asking this question: are they really doing something bad? It's screaming. What does a scream do? Get your attention, right? So maybe Jasper, the person that was showing the image to Jade, had this thing scream at him to get his attention because there's something with this goddamn mannequin. And that's what they were trying to get his attention. Like, yo, there's a mannequin, bro. He's seen the mannequin, Jade, when he was down there. So maybe that's what it truly was. It seems scary and everything else, but maybe it's just to get his attention. And that's what it was all about.
So we go into the ambulance, and Tabitha's trying to untie Henry and wake him up. We go off to Jim and Boyd and Ethan in the house, and Jim's like, if there's a chance Tabitha's in there, I got to go and try to help her. And he runs out, leaving his kids alone again. Boyd tells Ethan to stay inside, and finally gives Ethan the talk that he needs to help. Like, listen, Ethan, you can't do shit. You're a little kid. Stay inside, dumbass. What are you doing? And the kid listens for once. This is what happens when Ethan gets good parenting. You know, Boyd's a good parent. I feel like I want to make a meme with like Jim being like, I got to go, like shaking him and saying, tell me what you know. And then Boyd, like one with Boyd telling him to just listen, Ethan, you like rationalizing to him and telling him, Boyd, good parent. Jim, no, I love you, Jim. I'm being kidding. Okay, so they cut back to
you don't love Jim. What are you talking about? You hate Jim.
I know I'm pretty hard on Jim. Okay, so we hate
him.
I love him. He's not the worst father in the world.
No,
He's not the worst father in the world, Tony. Boyd's a much better father, though. So Boyd is a better father to Ethan than Jim ever has been. So Boyd tells Ethan to stay inside and be a good boy. And him and Randall head out. So we cut back to Tabitha being like, Henry, we're in this shitty town. We got to get out of here. And Henry's like, I'm awake. What's that scream? And the door flies open and it's Jim. It's a great romantic reunion. He looks
listen, all right. The reunions have not worked for me. All right. They're not this show. I'm saying in general. Sansa Stark, Jon Snow, perfect.
That was the best one of them all. On that show, that was the best of all of them for whatever reason.
That worked for me. Arya Jon did not work for me.
Bran anybody did not work.
Bran anyone did not work for me.
What are you talking about?
The Arya Jon one was supposed to be the good one. This one, I mean, kinda. It was okay. It wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't great. It was all right. You know what I mean? But the reunions don't work. And that's what. Oh, Jesus. One second. Yeah,
okay. So he's shocked. They embrace, and as Tony was saying, it's a met embrace, and they look for the keys. But anyways, so he's like, Boyd, you have keys to handcuffs. As Boyd and Randall run up, and they're shocked. Boyd's shocked to see Tabitha's like, what the fuck's she doing here? And Jim asks for the keys. Boyd's like, I don't have any keys. And Randall's like, I'll go to the bus for stuff. I'm a superhero. I'll do this all by myself without waiting for Boyd. I'll run to the bus all by myself. I'm a big boy. And he runs off all by himself before Boyd has a chance to say, wait for me. So we go over to Colony House. A bell's ringing. And I want to talk about something at Colony House big time in a second, because I agree with something you said in your video, because I wrote it in my notes before. I don't have any proof of this, but I wrote this in my notes before you even said anything about this, and someone's going to help me with this one too, Tony, if I missed something that I didn't see. So we go off to the Colony House, the bell ringing on the hill, the cops running around, still shooting like an asshole, like an Anna Lucia asshole, and being stalked by wedding dress Betty Draper and two other guys. And she's coming, she's shooting a shot, ricochets, or she shoots into the house without thinking. I didn't see exactly what happened. And Nikki, who's looking out the window, gets shot. So Tony mentioned this in the video. I'm asking the question now too. The window broke. So doesn't that make the talisman invalid in that moment? Did I miss? I was looking in a Reddit post and someone said, oh, if you see in the corner of your eye, you can see two guys coming in and hammering up the window.
Yeah, did I miss that? Yeah, I must have missed it too, because someone told me this in the comment section, because they love to correct you in the comment section. They said that you could hear them say, we got to get that patch.
I totally missed that. Then I totally missed that.
I missed it too. I missed it.
Okay. Because I was like you, Tony, to say, like, I'm watching, I'm like, wait a minute. Does this mean like Colony House is gone right now? Did the Anna Lucia get Colony House completely destroyed there?
But what do you got to use the patches? Does a piece of tape work? There's just duct tape that bitch? Is that all you got to do? Is some duct tape? Is that what it is? You know, I mean, that's all it takes.
Saran wrap.
If it gets home from duct tape, got astronauts home from outer space. I guess.
Could I use tinfoil? Does tinfoil work?
Yeah, could you just plug the hole? Like if there's a hole, could you just put a piece of paper through the hole?
Tony,
it's call it a day.
Could Fatima stick her two fingers?
Could you put Fatima's two fingers?
Yeah, could Fatima's two fingers go in there, Tony?
Just put the two fingers in the hole and say it's plugged up.
Did that work, Tony? I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? No, I mean, like that's like, could Fatima do it?
Okay, that's where it goes. Fatima's like, I'll plug that hole for you.
I'm an expert at this.
I feel bad for Elgin. Gee, I mean, not Elgin, for her husband. Now I'm forgetting his name off the.
Ellis.
I feel bad for him in the bedroom with this chick and her fingers, boy. Her fingers be moving too much. Like, her fingers be moving too much. It was that one comedian, I forgot his name, and he said he was going to get a colonoscopy, and he was wiggling around. He's on the table, he's wiggling around. He's like, you're going to have to hit a moving target here, doctor. I'm not stopping.
Oh, that takes new meaning to turn and cough, Tony. New meaning to turn and cough. Okay. So So they all scatter to help, and Marielle is there. She gets the body onto the couch, and Dawn is there as well. And they check it out. The bus driver is there, and it just looks bad. Everyone's like no exit, or Marielle says no exit wound. The Tony mentioned this earlier. The cop's banging on the door. Let me in! I'm a cop. Let me in! I'm a cop. And Eye Patch goes, "Well, we got to let her in. She's a cop." Like what? So she goes. They open the door.
Eye Patch. She's a cop. We gotta let her in.
Like what the fuck? And so they let her in, and she immediately starts going crazy. Anna Lucia Moore sort of steps towards the the future dead body, towards Nikki, and Donna's like, "Whoa, slow your fucking roll, like shut up," and calms her down for a second. So we cut over to Randall, who's in the bus. He sees a cicada, which is a foreshadow for what's going to happen in a second. And we go over to Boyd, who's looking for the cuffs. And we cut over to Randall again, surrounded by all the bunch of creatures. And you mentioned this in the video, like he holds it up like or a vampire, like the vampires. I forget what you said in the video, but like he holds it up like he's like,
like it's a badge. He flashed
a badge.
Hold on, that bitch is like, it don't work like that, honey. Yeah. That's not the way the game's played, man.
Yeah, old secretary creature says that doesn't work like that, honey, which is just an answer because we've never actually seen someone try it, and I think you can see very much the writers are listening to fan theories a little bit.
Must have said something in the fan theory. They said we got to get that out of here.
Exactly.
It's the same way like when people were saying, "Oh, why don't you just put the talisman around your neck?" And then the next season, Donna says it's not like you can put it around your neck or something like that.
Exactly.
You know, that's why they do those. So I tell you, they watch these people's videos. They watch my videos. I know this for fact. I'm not trying to be conceited or anything like that. I know. I've been told that they watch my videos.
See, Tony, this would do it. Glues, Guns, and Roses has it. Like that would get you in the door. Glues, Guns, and Roses.
Yes, let me in. I'm a stripper. Quick.
Yeah,
quick. I would have kicked Eye Patch in the ass out to let her in. I'm like, Eye Patch, you gotta go.
You're opening the door far too often.
Yeah, you need to hang out with Ethan, Eye Patch.
So Randall is surrounded, and oh honey, it's not working. Boyd comes over, and Randall tosses him the toolbox and tells him to go save Tabitha, and he tells Randall to get back to the bus. Randall sees a bunch of cicadas that are around him, and he can't move. He's frozen by it, and he falls to the ground, and they all sort of slowly surround him as Boyd runs back to give the tools to Jim, who's like, "Dude, we got to get out of here." "No shit, Jim." And then they grab something to cut off the cuffs, and Boyd looks for the keys, fucking keys. And this is what, like, every time Boyd says something in this episode, Tony, it's like, "Where are the keys?" "Fucking keys." It's like God tier acted by Harold in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, "Fucking keys." Like, it's so good.
And she's just waving them. You can't save them all.
And
she specifically said, you know what I mean? She was like, we gonna keep it. We gonna keep Randall.
She calls him.
Like, it seems like they had already made up their mind.
Dude,
like they were keeping him. She was like, you can't save more. You can take the keys, but we're gonna keep Randall. Like, you're not giving me the choice. What if he would have said, "I'll take Randall back"? Yeah. What if he would just said, "There, I don't want the keys. I want to take Randall"?
No, Batman.
No, they already had their plan. It was already that Randall was gonna get got.
Do you think there's anything to the fact that I guess she visits him every night, but they know the name too, like straight up, like they all know all these people's names, like that. Like, I thought it was just the way she casually said Randall was very creepy too. We keep Randall. And they flash to Randall getting surrounded by the cicadas, and the creatures are all watching, as you pointed out, not doing it. They're just kind of watching what's happening. And the monsters look at Randall on the ground, and Boyd takes the keys. And I love how he just goes, "Fuck you, you motherfuckers." Like Joe Pesci. He Joe Pesci's them right there. He's like, "Motherfucking cocksuckers." And then he drives away, leaving Randall. And Randall's like, "You left me, you fucking asshole, Boyd, you piece of shit." But Randall, really, what was Boyd supposed to do in that moment? So we go off to Marielle trying to do some work, but it's a mess. She's trying to tweeze the bullet out, but she finally gets it. It's really hard to watch that scene. I couldn't really watch it. Boyd pulls up on the ambulance. Jim and Tabby get out, and Henry walks out as they head back into the side of Colony House as Boyd considers going back to get Randall, but he decides not to. Boyd's feeling bad as some new folks come in, and everyone looks at Tabitha and is like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing here?" Like, everybody knows that like rumors spread through this shit. You can't keep nothing from anyone. They all know it's only been a couple of days Tabitha's been gone. She's been gone for 2 months or so. And everyone knows she's gone. Everyone thought she was dead, and now everyone's shocked to see her alive. Ain't no one think maybe she stayed home for a couple of days. Maybe she got the flu. Maybe she had COVID and had the quarantine. No, everybody knew she was gone, and now everyone knows she's back, and they all said, "God damn, why is she back? How is she back?
How is she back? What like
Yeah,
what?
no one was happy. It wasn't like Tabitha. They're like, what the fuck is this bitch doing here?
Yeah, she came back.
Yeah, it was that one person like, oh my God, Tabitha, and ran out and hugged her. No one. Everybody was just like, what the fuck are you doing here?
And I don't think anyone recognized Henry. I saw a couple of people in the comments say that, oh, Donna recognized Henry. I didn't get that. So we cut off to Tilly, and Tilly's like, poor girl, to Elgin. And Elgin is like, yeah, Nikki's going to be okay. And she's like, no, Fatima, that bird was horrible. And Elgin's like, does not say anything. And it cuts right as they talk about Fatima. We see Kimono Girl. Yep. Like, it's right. Like she says, Fatima, that's horrible. No, Fatima, cut Kimono Girl. It was like a beat. Like right over, and Kimono Girl's Elgin, in a really amazing line read by Nathan, goes, am I awake? And Tilly just goes, what? Like she doesn't, you pointed this out in your video, she doesn't actually answer the question. She just goes, and the creature demon thing like leads him off into the other room, and he follows it, and it says, help me, please. And Elgin bumps into some angry dude in the background, probably the guy that fixed the window, and cuts out of the vision, and he's gone. So we go to, I guess it was an interesting scene to bounce off of the Elgin thing, but it's another scene similar to the stuff we already talked about at the cabins that we're going to skip over when we come back to it, which is our next scene too. The Julie and the Ethan stuff, I could have done maybe without, like we didn't necessarily need this scene. I wouldn't have minded more Boyd stuff for this episode, but Julie and Ethan are there. Ethan's like basically gets out of Julie what Randall said. I was more scared than I've ever been, and I'm really frightened, and you don't know the shit I said. I can't remember. She can't seem to remember as much as Randall does, but she knows it was the scariest thing she's ever seen.
Yeah, but that right there, at least it sets up something, right? It sets up them having to come together and talk about what the fuck happened to him. We need to know what the fuck they were screaming at. We need to know. This is a crucial thing. We need to know what's going on. I have my suspicions of what it was, but we need to know 100% what's going on.
That's a good point. You are correct. So the next scene is the Jade scene that we already talked about. So we'll go on to that one. And we flash back. Our next scene after that scene is we go to Victor smiling. Oh, Victor in the past smiling. We get this flashback of Victor in Victor's memories as he grabs things from dead bodies. He remembers different memories, like his Horcruxes. He picks up each item. The first one he picks up is a watch. It's Mr. Gerber, who always smelled of onions. He's like Davos Seaworth. He's the onion knight. Mm-hmm. And he eats onions raw. This onion knight there. I'm no big city lawyer. I'm just Davos Seaworth. Dolores, who is cigarettes and cried a lot. And he's digging through looking for something from Christopher. Who's Christopher? Victor says he was a friend, nice, but he saw a symbol and started to get scary. Victor has a freak out. Great fucking acting by Scott. Scott plays like a little kid freaking out so fucking good. And then did he do the voice that like when so he flashes, she pushes him, she kind of centers him like almost like a sister, and centers him, and we get a flash of Christopher with the puppet talking with the puppet, and the puppet says, hello, Victor. Was that Scott's voice doing the hello, Victor? I think it might have been.
It could have been him doing that voice.
It was so cool. Like, I know he does voice work. I don't know if that was one of his like voice character work things. If we ever talk to him again, I'll have to ask him if he's the one that goes, hello, Victor. It was really creepy. And then we found out the puppet's name was Jasper. And we'll talk a little bit more about Jasper in a second. So we're almost towards the end of the episode here. Boyd's talking shit to Donna. I left him. I just left him. I tried to save everyone. What the hell was Tabitha doing in there? As we go on to Tabitha and Jim being like, was that catching up? And just she's catching him up with the Vic's dad stuff. And she says, I failed. And he's going, no, you're back. And he's being supportive or something. Nikki dies. I'm just going to yada through some of this. Nikki dies. It's horrible. It's Marielle couldn't see the internal bleeding, and it's a horrible moment, and it sets Boyd off. Tony Boyd gets in the fucking cop's face. What are you doing, officer? What the fuck? And was he going to throw her outside? Was that what
I don't know what he was going to do. He's like he's about to yoke her up. That's what it seemed like. He's about to yoke her up.
I fucking loved Boyd in this episode, Tony, so much. Like, we are so lucky to see Harold getting this much shit to do. Like he's
Mhm.
always been great in every part he gets, but he's always mostly been part of ensembles and done great jobs in part of ensembles. Seeing him as the lead to get the majority of the stuff, like the heavy lifting and stuff, he was just, I cannot say how good he was in this episode for me. So Donna brings him off and he's like, fuck you. He does this scream when he's going up the stairs. Just, I can't even do it because I will kill my voice. Like he's like viscerally freaking out. He says, Donna, I don't want the lecture. I don't want the fucking lecture police. And she starts crying. Why can't they leave me alone? Great acting.
And
Tony.
I know that now I see people in the comments, people like Glue Guns and Roses, saying that now we don't want to believe that Donna is the mole. This proves she's not the mole, or this leads them to think she's not. Listen, this is what the show wants you to believe. They want you to think that there's no way possible she could be the mole. That's what they want you to feel, so that when the flip does happen, that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's her. Trust me, I see this coming a mile away. Donna's the mole. Don't let those fake tears fool you.
Tony, it's interesting what she said. Why can't they leave us alone in a panic way? What do they have on her? You know, why can't they leave? Like, I know you're reaching your breaking point, but you've lived here a while, Donna. You lived here before the talismans. You know, like, this is your breaking point. I appreciate it, but it seems like you might
what
have...
broke her? What's so bad? What's so broke her? So
Did
now
she love Nikki?
Wait. Well, let me get this person real quick.
Was her Nikki?
This is One Tail Girl. 78 says, so now, Tony, you are sure that. What do you mean, so now? I've said Donna's the mole since last season.
Yeah, we've kind of been on mole patrol with her.
There's no so now. I've said it from last year.
Tony, we might have even said it to Liz the first time we talked to her after season 1.
Yeah, I told her in her face she's the mole when she came on the channel. And I'm gonna tell her again when she comes back on this channel, and she will be here. I'm gonna tell her again she's the mole. So it's not so now. I've been on this mole thing with Donna. So I don't know what
Tony, she's a traitor. If we're playing traitors, she's a traitor.
And people are saying, Glue Gun says death. Tony, death broke her because she isn't the mole. I love you, Donna. She's seen a lot of people die. A lot of people die. This is not the first death she's seen. She's been there a long time. You could get the full. Let's go on my channel. You'll see that. You'll see it up there. You'll see the videos. Yeah, listen, she's been seeing people die a long time. She's been dealing with a lot of stuff a long time. Yes, she put the axe to the floor. Yes, she's done some other things like that. But there's nothing that I've seen here. You know what I mean? Nothing that I've seen here. You know what I mean? That would make me think that that's the breaking point. If something happened to Fatima and she was there on the couch dying or something like that, someone like that, this is not someone that we've seen. This is the first time we were ever introduced to this chick, and she's dead in a couple of episodes. So it just doesn't seem enough to me.
Yeah, maybe her and Nikki were...
She was held prisoner by Randall outside with a knife to her neck, saying, do you want to dance with her, right? With a little pocket knife. And that didn't break her. And now all of a sudden, this one girl, it just seems suspect to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, her and Nikki might have been extra close, but you never can tell. Okay, so the end of our episode, our final scene here is so Dawn is going to lecture, and then great acting by Liz, an emotional moment. I do also think it was a little bit of half crocodile tears. So it's a couple more scenes actually. So Victor tells about Jasper. Christopher made us all laugh. People love Jasper, but when Chris saw the symbol, he changed. It didn't make us laugh. We get a flashback to Victor walking in at night. Christopher sees Chris talking to the Jasper puppet sitting like across from him, and Jasper is talking back and screams just like a creature. We're going to be talking about this a lot even afterwards. I'm sure we'll get more questions with the calls and all this stuff, so we'll hold off to talk about more of this now. But Tony's been talking about this for a while, and I agree with him 100%. You don't introduce a marionette puppet into a horror kind of thing and don't expect the thing to come alive and talk. And that thing has been in the posters as much as Smiley was in the last seasons. So we knew something was coming with this damn thing, and Tony was on this one early on. So he might not say I told you so, but I'll say it too.
You ain't got to say it, Phil, because the cast members say it.
I fucking told you.
I said it in season 2 when they first introduced Christopher, and Victor said Christopher was nice and he made me laugh. And then Victor seen the puppet down there. I made up the theory that this was his puppet, that's how he made him laugh, and that this guy went crazy and killed the whole town. And that's why Victor was so afraid when he was in the tunnels and seen the puppet. I made that up back then.
Could
all
that
all the way back then, I made that theory up. And here we are today with this man holding that puppet. Like I said it was from the jump. I told you this is what it was. And we will get to all your donations, I promise you. We'll get to all of them. I promise you. I told you that's what it was. And that's exactly what it is. I didn't do it this year when people who got the pictures and you see the sweater in the color picture with the thing in there. Oh, look, it's just no. I said it back then. Back in the tunnel, I made that theory up. And it's goddamn true.
You definitely did on that one. You're getting a lot right this season, Tony. They carry Nikki's body upstairs, and Ellis and Fatima have a talk about how Fatima wants to pay respect because this girl was mean to her, or she was mean to her with the pooping incident. So she closes the door, and she's compelled to unwrap the body, open the wounds, pokes inside. As Tony have said, she 2 fingers deep in the blood, sticks her hands in it, scoops up that blood, eats that shit like me licking the spoon after someone's cooking brownies, and she's snacking on that shit. And then we cut over to Donna, and we talked about that. I'm sure we'll talk about that more too later. Donna and Boyd have a drink to better days as the lights of the ambulance start shining, and Randall's on the hood, not dead, but alive. And because this is going to break Boyd more, Tony, and that's the end of our episode.
That is, we're going to take a 2-minute intermission so I can get another drink. We're going to leave you with our girl. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We're going to leave you with our girl. Everything else, go subscribe to Carla Wade's channel. Y'all know she was talented like that, right? Yeah, I know everything like that. That's what it is. All right, we are opening the phone lines up right now. Phil, what is the number?
781-990-8509. I'll put that in the live chats as well. But 781-990-8509.
So overall, Phil, what do you think about this episode?
I thought it was a very good episode. I wouldn't say I think it's one of my, this is tough. I was talking about this a little bit before you came on, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned this a little bit. You mentioned it in passing quickly at the beginning of your review, but this was a very quick episode. This was the shortest episode of the season so far, and it felt it a little bit at times. Like I felt like I wanted a little bit more from this episode, and I wouldn't have minded a few more. They could have skipped the cabins altogether.
Yep.
And given us a few more Boyd scenes or a few more expanded on in just in a few other places. Like I don't know. And I don't think so. I would say I will give this one a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Also, I'm gonna stick with that 7.5.
Area code 917. What's your name? What's your question? And where are you calling from?
New York City.
Hey, my name is Fatima, and I'm a truck driver, and I am calling because I want to know if Jasper is the man in yellow.
Is Jasper the man in yellow?
They both got the same shaped head. It looks the same.
They do have the same hairstyle. I don't know if unless you're saying that Jasper is actually the man in yellow, and there's also a puppet named Jasper. If that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
Maybe
that's exactly
there's
what I'm saying. I'm saying she drew that picture of Jasper. That's that man in yellow.
All right. We'll see if that. I never really thought about it if that was the case. But we definitely going. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. Now, we driving truck right now? Are you working?
I am. I'm driving right now. I'm actually going to pick up in Indianapolis, and I'm heading on to Memphis.
Oh, cool.
All right. Well, you go, girl.
And I'll keep watching you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the call. Keep trucking.
All right, don't tell nobody else. Bye.
Great call. I think we have another one. This is area code 352. What's your name? What's your question or comment, and where are you calling from?
Good evening, guys. Good evening, Phil. Good evening, Tony. My name is Jay from Jacksonville.
Welcome, my
What's
friend.
going on?
Good. I just want to say you guys are doing an awesome job. I love hearing you guys, and I love hearing your theories and your recaps.
Appreciate it.
So my question, not question really, but I'm probably going to go back and see the episode again. However, did any of you guys see anything with Fatima that led up to her, sticking her finger in the bowl? Like, I mean, was she looking at Nikki on the couch and just started to get some facial expressions first? Like, it just seemed like it just came out the blue. Again, I'm gonna watch it again to see if I see that, but I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, no, she was definitely looking at her on the couch because she said, "Oh, she was me. We just had a beef," and basically she was saying, but she didn't. She wasn't salivating.
Didn't she say that? Didn't she say that at the door when she was talking to Ellis?
Yeah, when she got shot, she said it though. When she died, it was after she died. She said that.
Yeah,
after Nikki was dead, that's when she said that. But it wasn't like she was sitting there licking her lips and shit.
Right. I don't think there was a scene where she was like looking at Nikki bleeding out on the things, like licking her lips for blood. I think the only precursor we really got to it was her conversation with Marielle, where she's just like, I'll do anything for the baby. But we didn't. I don't think we really got a scene where we get her getting the idea to do it. I think it did seem to come out of like, she just showed up there to be compelled to eat the blood.
Got you. All right. Another thing, just another comment regarding her sticking her hand in the cookie jar. One thing that came to mind with her doing that was the Murder House from American Horror Stories, when that lady at the house was feeding meat to the wife because she had sex with the ghost, and she gave birth to the Antichrist. I'm just getting correlations like that. So
yeah, I'd never seen that show, so I can't comment on that, but I hear what you're saying on that.
Yeah, so something might come out of that. Thank you, guys. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for letting us call in. I'm gonna keep listening to you guys. Thanks a lot, Phil. Thanks a lot, Tony. You guys keep a good work.
Peace out. Thank you.
Thank you. Great call, my friend. Great call. I am getting a little bit of a vibe. Like, you remember that show V, Tony? Like where like one of them gave birth to like the half V, half human child. Like there's some hinky shit going on.
I think the famous scene was the mousy scene.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yep.
Like that was the famous scene when the thing ate the mouse and shit.
Oh, that was so disgusting, eating the mouse. Like, you're giving me childhood horrors now. I had blocked that out a little bit, I think. Area code 313. Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's your question?
Hi, Kimberly from Detroit.
Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi. Couple of things. So I believe the kimono lady is the future child of Fatima.
Ah, the future child.
The future child, because Tilly was crocheting something in pink. And I believe Tilly was sent on that bus to help prepare Fatima for the baby and the baby. And so I take that from Rosemary's Baby. I feel like this is like a take from Rosemary's Baby. But Fatima, I theorized on Reddit that Fatima would eat blood and rotten food. And I theorized that based on what I saw from Rosemary's Baby, it's going to be like that, where she's going to give birth to a half entity or demigod. So that kimono lady is the future child of Fatima, I believe. A lot of people confuse her with Fatima, but that's not Fatima. That's really her daughter. That's part entity and part human. The other thing I want to know is that
one second.
One second, caller. So we can respond.
on TV.
One second, so we can respond to the first part.
We got to respond to what you said. You can't just drop that and then just move on. You got to give us a chance to respond to that. Now, I believe it's Fatima. I never heard that before. That's actually her child. It could be. I never actually considered that being her child. I do think it's Fatima though. The pink crochet, I'm not sure about. I understand I guess you're saying that because the kimono's pink and she was crocheting pink and she's here to get ready for the baby. I do believe that the baby is some type of Rosemary's baby type situation due to the fact that when we see the picture of Ellis and Fatima in the drawing, it does look like some type of Adam and Eve thing. So I do believe that, but I don't know if that woman actually, I think that woman is specifically Fatima. As Phil had pointed out, this episode, as soon as they went to Fatima, they went to that woman. It seems like this woman somehow is tied to Fatima. And if you're saying that's the baby wise, I hear you on that. Me personally, I'm going to stick with that it is her herself.
Okay. The second theory, well, did you guys see Jasper on TV?
What do you mean? The puppet?
Yeah. So
yeah.
There's a Reddit user that posted the video, a screenshot of when the kimono lady had Elgin follow her. They passed the TV, and if you look, the puppet is on the TV.
Really?
Yes. If you go back and look, and when it leaves that kitchen where he was with the Tilly, and he passed, there's a TV with a megaphone or something, or one of those old players, radio record players. He passed the TV, and Jasper is on that TV.
All right, I'm gonna look for it. Phil, hold it down. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Yeah, Tony's gonna go see that image. That would be really interesting if that is the case, because then that would make sense of a lot of the mole situation. Maybe Jasper's in the background everywhere, like jumping, like sneaking in pictures and stuff like that, or sneaking in the television, traveling through. Like, interesting. I totally missed it being in the background of the TV. That's really cool. If he is. Oh, yeah. People in the live chat too saying Jasper was on the TV.
Yeah, when you see him passing, there's a TV to his right as they pass, and you'll see Jasper on the TV. So it's a reflection. So how he's in the TV, I don't know, but it seems like it's almost like a reflection. But Jasper's in the TV. The entity used Jasper to get Christopher to help him, set up the townspeople. So a lot of people, when Victor said, hey, Jasper can answer our questions or answer questions, I was frustrated because Jasper is just a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
What was controlling him was the entity. And yeah, the entity is using dead friends, dead family members, Thomas, to manipulate people. And apparently he used Jasper the puppet to manipulate Christopher.
Whew. Very cool stuff. Thank you so much for the call and awesome theories. Please call back again.
Okay, thanks.
Later.
Right.
I'm going to take a couple of super chats while we're waiting for Tony to get back. We got a couple from my channel. Saggy says, who moved the bodies from Victor's stores? I wondered that very thing, Saggy. Like, he got all the little items from the thing. Who actually eventually moved the bodies? The boy in white? Like, could he actually pick up bodies? Or did Victor eventually do that? Who knows? Phil, who do I think is outside the campus? Okay. Here we go. KP, it's just me. You know, Tony isn't even here, but Tony went off to find that image. But welcome to the show, KP.
What's going on? Good night to everybody, one and all. Listen. Okay. I have this. First of all, I want to say it was a nice episode. I enjoyed it. It was like 5 minutes too short, but they did that on purpose. Yeah. You know what I mean? They did it on purpose. They know what they're doing. They do it very well. And I have to say that I watch a lot of TV.
Me too.
I live that kind and the only thing on television that comes close to this is The Penguin. Only thing. And it's a different kind of show, but it's the only thing that comes close to this season of From. I mean, it's really head and shoulders above anything else that anybody else is offering at this present time. So that's my disclaimer. So even though I say some weird stuff, like I still enjoyed the episode by a lot. But that said,
do you know what Ned Stark once said? Everything you say before Bud is bullshit. But keep going, KP.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. But I do have.
No, I'm kidding.
But that police officer has to be the worst trained police officer I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some bad police officers. Because she's just letting that fucking Glock fly. She's just letting them rounds fly. Bop, 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 bop. All in the air. I have never, like, in real life, that would be, like, that officer would, if she was in a weird From village, there was real life, that officer would be in jail right now. Even if she didn't kill you, even if she didn't kill this woman, she'd be in jail. And that kind of took me out of it a little bit because I just didn't believe that a police officer because to be a police officer, I guess that is able to single-handedly accompany a ambulance with a possible 5150 case. Like you're not a rookie. You've been in this thing for a while. So that took me out of it. And that was one of my biggest problems with this episode. Really, because that's not how a police officer should respond. It's possibly how a rookie might respond to some weird situations, but I just didn't get.
They're monsters, though. I mean, in fairness, KP, I thought she acted like an asshole too. But in fairness, like we're dealing with supernatural forces. She's shooting with her gun, and these bullets are bouncing off you.
It's nitpicking, right? Because 100%.
You know how are you going to react if you hit someone with a baseball bat over and over again and they just kept coming? It's just like, I might freak out too and make some stupid mistake. I'm not belaboring your. I'm not like decounting your point completely. Like I get what you're saying. Like she pissed me off too. But like if I want to cut her a break and I'm arguing devil's advocate with you a little bit, I would say that she's used to humans and these are like monster things that like are just keep coming.
I'll give it a deal. Yeah, I'll let her off for that. Like I won't castigate them too much for that slip up. It did take me out of it for a little while because I was just I was personally a little bit too taken up by
fair.
That's a weird option. But you're right. I could definitely not show with people with supernatural.
Yeah, like the first time you see it, like
it seems to be supernatural things going on. Yes, it is not it's in line with the content. It's in line with the plot and the world that they've built. So I'm not too unhappy about that. I think I wanted to see something happen with Chrissy and Kenny and Jade. And by the way, that little hut is not that big. How do they show me the entire hut and like Dale is not there? So Dale is such a Is it that he's such an asshole that he decided he's going to go in another hut, the whole, or did they kick him and be like, oh, this only fits 3. We don't want assholes in this one. And he had to, because that was weird. But because it was very interesting that he was very, very present in the last episode. He was very present. Some of the most
KP, we're doing rapid fire. We got a lot of calls coming. We got a lot of calls coming through, and we also got another guest showing up. So we got to put this guest on.
What's going on? Let me finish. Give me 60 seconds to finish up my call before you start to play the Jeopardy music.
I'm not 60 seconds, KP. He had asked for 15 seconds, though.
Every time I see it, it holds my attention. Why is Tabitha, a white woman who's supposed to be the white mother of white children with a white husband, why did they choose a Colombian woman with a very, very serious Colombian accent that is not hidden at all to be that person? And then why does the person that they're kind of mirroring her with have a very, very Spanish name, a very, very Hispanic name? To me, I know I brought this question up before, and the answer was not as just who they hired for the job. I get that, but to me, every time I hear her voice, every time I see that, you could have just hired a random white woman. And then the fact that when she called her mother clearly had an accent. To me, and the reason why I think there's something to it is because it's very in line with a piece of Hispanic folklore.
All right, KP, we're out of here, bro. I got love for you. I got love for you. I got love for you, but we gotta go. We got other people, man. You can't. It's not regular stream. Call back on the theory stream. Phil, cut it.
Oh, he's gone. Love you, KP.
All right, so listen, you can see here in the picture I put up right there that in the corner, I don't know if y'all can see it there. Is it showing in the corner on this TV? It does look like there is some type of doll there. So quite possible that.
Yeah, that's absolutely Jasper. Like you can't see it super clear, but I'm gonna buy that looks oddly placed in Jasper.
Yeah. Well, we are now joined by the one, the only, the beautiful and multiply talented Anastasia Red Lipstick Club's in the building, rocking with us.
I don't have the
All right.
I don't have applause set. And everyone, we'll get back to calls in a moment. We're just gonna check in with Anna for a few minutes, and then we'll open back the phone lines in a second.
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can see you great.
Can you hear me okay though?
Yes.
We can hear you great.
Perfect. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? I can hear echo. Who's that echo? Is that you? I'm hearing
maybe
echo.
It's me. Let me see. Let me switch my let me see.
Oh, you got a lavalier mic. I like that. But yeah, you are coming in good, clear.
Could be my headset, maybe.
1 2 1 2.
Check.
It's good now.
It's better now. Yeah.
Is it good now?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, we're good. Now we can't hear you, Anna.
now we can't hear you.
Can't hear you, girl. Nope.
It was people live chat. Randall pulled out the talisman like a power bowler. Time to play the news. Jasper is the mole. Very possible, and that's one thing as Anna's figuring this out. Maybe if Jasper's popping up on the TV, Tony, maybe Jasper is the mole. Like is a joke, but maybe Jasper is just in the background of all these scenes.
It's funny because I said all these things. If you go watch my video, I did way before this episode talked about this damn Jasper. I brought up the whole Child's Play voodoo theory that it actually could be a spirit living inside of Jasper. I put that on out there. I put that theory. I put that out there. These people on Reddit act like they put stuff out there before they're done. You go check the videos there. I put that out there. It's quite possible. Now, in all honesty, I don't think that's the case, but I said it's a possibility for it to be happening. I don't think that's what it's going to be, but I do think that there's a possibility for 100%. Anna, you do it on purpose? There you go. All right. I hear you. I heard you breathe. I heard you breathe. You're good.
I don't think she
can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Switch.
You're good to go. You're good to go. How was everything with you, Anna? I haven't spoken to you for a while.
I'm good, y'all. Hi. Oh, I got your book. I'm in the mail. That was kind of cute to see your name on a But
Well, thank you. I appreciate you ordering it. I 100% do hope you enjoy it.
it's kind of scary, you guys. Like it's like a real thriller, so just be kind of ready for it.
I would think, I tried my best. It is definitely a psychological thriller. It
Yes,
should be a little scary. It should be good. I didn't want to go the whole Game of Thrones route with it, right? I didn't want to go
thank
no
God.
route, you know what I mean? So I wanted to do something else and everything else like that.
I'm kind of soft, as we know, but yeah, it's going good. And I was thinking, like reading it, and I was like, Tony's a real storyteller.
I am. And if you ask a lot of women that I've dated, they tell you the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm
Different,
trying to think.
different guys.
I'm trying to think like what could I possibly believe that this man would be telling me?
I don't lie. I always tell the truth. Sometimes it hurts people's feelings, but I tell the truth all the time. So Anna, what did you think
Uh,
about this episode?
okay, so I had some mixed feelings about it. So um, I was hoping what's her name that got her ankle caught in the bear claw?
Christy.
Chrissy.
Christy. I felt like there wasn't enough panic around what was going on with her. Like you would think if something like that happened, maybe she wouldn't have circulation going on, or it just didn't create enough of a threat for them. The fact that she was easily able to go out and they were just able to go into the cabins like nothing happened, it just kind of felt like a waste. So I don't know if that's something that's going to impact us later on that she had this situation happen, but
Hmm.
it just felt very pointless now that we got to this episode, right?
Yeah, again, I also thought that it was a terrible cabin scene, that it was unnecessary
Yeah,
cabin, and
yeah. It feels very unnecessary now. Um, I guess maybe they just wanted to show, but you know what? We were hearing people talk about, like when they did the interview with the cast, that this is technically a drama hidden within like a horror show. So
hmm
that whole cabin scene where they're having this whole discussion about Kenny's mom and stuff, that was so overly dramatic. And I'm like, is this it? Like, is their focus really to make this a drama and really be more so focused on these relationships with people as opposed to answering the question of where they're at and what's happening and why this is all occurring? It's kind of giving that vibe. And I'm hoping because it's giving that vibe that we won't be like super disappointed in the end because it really had nothing to do with where they were at when it's all said and done.
I agree. That scene
Yeah.
myself, I did not like. And if people don't know who Anna is, Anna is the host of the Red Lipstick reality TV YouTube channel. She goes over reality
Mm-hmm.
TV shows, and if you want to get messy with her in there, make sure you subscribe to her channel because she gets messy on all that stuff. And she also comes on here and hosts the After Dark with me when we do it. We haven't done it in a while. When we do the After Dark show, Anna is my host to do the
Mm-hmm.
After Dark with me and stuff. We do that together.
Yeah. I'm not that messy right now. I'm only covering the Sister Wives, and I'm just mad most of the time. So if you watch Sister Wives and you're as invested as I've been for the past 19 seasons, you will love my channel.
Yes, you will, obviously. And she's as real as it gets and everything else. And that's just
Yeah.
the way it is.
So that was something that stood out for me from the like things that I was a little frustrated by. But it did bring up some points. So when um when Tabitha, I think the Matthews family, and I don't know how everybody else feels because I put this in the chat a few times. Like, when is the town going to turn on the Matthews family? Because at this point, there have been multiple situations that have come up on this show that have been extremely dangerous, cost people their lives, created all this chaos that were directly linked or connected to the Matthews family. And it feels like they're rebelling to a point where they're not thinking of anybody else but themselves and their family. And if you look at how the rest of the town operates, it's almost like they were sent there to cause that level of disruption and chaos. Because prior to them coming, it really felt like the town, and even what's the house called?
Colony
Colony.
House.
Colony House. It felt like even though they were divided, they worked really well together. They had a system in place. They did things a certain way. people followed the rules and they knew what the consequence was if they didn't follow the rules. All of a sudden, the Matthews family comes in, and it's like all the damn rules went out the window once they came. Now they have a kid there that they didn't have. And kids disrupt, they cause chaos, in a system where people aren't used to having children around because you can only control them so much. So now we have to worry about a kid again. Like they killed off the other kid because once again, kids not cause, but they create uncertainty. They don't have a fully developed frontal lobe, so they make decisions without sometimes thinking about others, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of not knowing, right?
Ignorance. Yep.
Naivete, as they would say. So they bring another kid in to create that. So I'm just wondering if maybe do they always have a family in there to create chaos? And that little glimpse of where we saw things together, maybe they really necessarily weren't together. Like the family before them also caused this level of chaos too. I'm just wondering. So why do they only have one family? It feels like that's all you can handle in this situation. It's like almost so you can blame the problems on that family. Like there's no one else you can blame it on.
It seemed like they came in there to replace the family that got killed off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as soon as
And
they killed off that one family, now we're gonna bring in the next family to replace them.
Yes, because it's like you need a family and you need a kid to create some kind of chaos. Because when parents have a child, right, that your kid's your main priority. Or if you have a spouse, your spouse is your main priority. So you will sacrifice people around you for them. You will make really bad decisions too because of them. Like they'll be your focus. Nobody else is partnered up to that level except for Fatima, which we see all the chaos surrounding that. They kill
But
boy's wife.
she kissing other chicks in there too. She making out with other girls inside the colony
Yeah.
house. What's up?
I think they're just basically, it feels like they're kind of highlighting how when you are partnered with somebody or if you have children, how you might go into fight or flight, how you might be irrational with your decision making, how you might be not territorial, but what do they say, like kind of isolating within yourself, like I don't know. Those are just some things I recognize because if I'm only there for myself, well then I have to depend on these other people, right? Because it's just me. And if I don't depend on these other people and work with these other people, I'm kind of, shut of luck. But that family kind of isolates themselves and puts themselves first, and it causes all this chaos for everybody else. So I'm just waiting for the town, or when people think the town are going to look at the Matthews family and say, all of a sudden now people are dying, all this stuff is happening when y'all came to town.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's possible at the Matthew fan, especially now that Tabitha went away and now all of a sudden she's back. It seems like they're going to have some type of animosity towards them real quick. Yeah. So it's definitely a good possibility that that's what happens towards her.
Because what did she bring back that was positive? She brought back a cop that shot somebody and killed someone.
Yeah, an old man.
She brought a random dude back. Old man. I guess we'll see how that turns out. She, put what's his name? Not Marvin. What's his name that lived in the bus?
Who? Randall?
Randall. Put Randall, and everybody's in harm's way because Tabitha came back.
Yeah. Randall got fucked up because Tabitha came back. A lot of people were in there. All right, we're gonna open the phone lines up again. So if you want to make a phone call, Anna is here rocking with us. Phil the Issues got it. Don, Tony Teflon, we are here. Give us a call. I see people in the chat saying they don't agree. Call in and let us know why you don't agree.
Yeah, tell us why you don't agree. Maybe I just want to get rid of them because I don't like kid actors.
Area code 647. Welcome to the show. What's your name and what's your question or comment?
Hey guys, I'm Abdul calling from Canada.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just had, it's not like a question, it's more of like a dumb theory I had. So
we accept those too.
Yeah, it's just like a theory. So like the ambulance that came into the town, like from what I did, like from some research, I saw like some ambulances do have like ultrasounds. So what if in like a future episode, like they like get Tabitha to like get like an ultrasound, and they maybe find something about the baby? What if like they do the
Tabitha?
ultrasound and there's no baby there?
Why would Tabitha need to get the ultrasound?
Sorry, not Tabitha. I'm forgetting the
Fatima.
pregnant lady's name.
Fatima.
Oh, all right, Fatima.
Fatima. Sorry, Fatima. Yes, Fatima.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit ago. So people made it clear to me that that these ambulances do be having ultrasound. So maybe there will be an ultrasound device in there. Maybe that's the plan. It makes sense if they do have it in there that you would like to get the baby checked out. Put the ultrasound. I don't know. We're going to see some teeth popping out or something like that. I don't know, but we're going to see something if that's the case.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that ambulance coming is not a coincidence. Like, I guarantee they're going to pull the ultrasound machine. Because I can guarantee, I bet you they have an ultrasound machine in there, or at least like a small portable one.
Mm-hmm.
And I could guarantee somebody saying, "Hey, let's do this." And if Fatima starts fighting it, well, we're gonna have some questions, right? Like, why don't you want us to do this?
100%. Anything else, caller?
No, that's all. Thank you.
All right, no, thank you. Thanks for calling. Thanks for watching. Truly appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you.
Tony, we do have a voicemail from earlier. Someone we missed earlier tonight left a voicemail, so let me hook that up to play. This is from area code 205.
My name is Chris. I'm calling in from Nashville. I sent a couple of super chats in earlier.
Actually, we'll wait to play. We'll play your message, 205. Let me take this call. Welcome to the show. I can't see your number because someone else's number is blocking. 815. What's going on, 815?
Hi, it's Fatima.
Welcome,
What's
Fatima.
going on?
Hi, Fatima.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Phil. Hi, Tony. Okay, I'll just have a couple things. So one, Jasper is kind of giving me like Flappy the Dummy from Goosebumps. How he was kind of like, it was like a spirit in him that kind of that made the person who brought him to life was kind of like made them their slave, and they had to do exactly what he wanted them to do. So it's kind of giving me that vibe. Like when he was it looks like he was trying to control Christopher or make him do something. And Christopher was getting upset, like he didn't want to do it. So that just kind of gave me that vibe with that. Also, I don't think that Randall, Boyd, or Julia Mario can be killed by the monsters anymore. Just kind of like when Martin was like that, the monsters are like the tip of the spear, and now that they've been touched by a different entity there, I feel like that they can't be killed. They can be hurt, but they can't be killed by the monsters. Cause boy, they kind of like scratched up his arm and everything, but they couldn't kill him. And I know you say they're trying to break him, but Randall, they kind of beat him up, but they couldn't kill him. I don't think that they can be killed anymore because they've reached the next level of torture there. So yeah.
You don't think that the people in the town can be killed anymore?
No, Randall, Boyd, and Julie and Marielle, because they've been touched by a different entity there that's worse than the monster.
Like with the music box stuff or with all that sort of shit, with the Martin stuff, whatever.
Yes, correct. And I feel like that's why they couldn't kill Randall. Like they can scratch him up, beat him up, but they couldn't kill him.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And then and then the only last thing I have is Sarah, with the whole your theory of her being Eloise. So just I don't know, maybe because when she was telling Chrissy her story of how she got there, she was very vague. She didn't really tell us really anything in detail. And if they were having like girl talk, why didn't she go into like detail about why and what happened and how she really got there? She just kind of gave like Nathan came to get me. I was in some trouble. That was it. It wasn't like a detailed story of what really happened to her. So I don't know, maybe. But that's pretty much all I got.
Oh, thank you for the call. Truly appreciate it. It's a very interesting theory.
Yeah, I'm with you on your first, but that's definitely interesting. Caller 815. Definitely call back in the future. Or Fatima. I mean Fatima.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's Fatima.
I can't help it but call you. Tony does it too because it's like
Why
it's
you gotta
usually
bring me up, Phil? Because you did it. Why you gotta put me in it?
because you do it too. You
I
do
do,
it
but
too,
you don't
Tony.
say it. You gotta put me on blast.
I just want to make it
Is
seem like I'm
Fatima
not the
from
only one,
Baltimore?
Tony. You can put me on blast too next time you say it. You owe
Is,
me
It's
one on that
fine.
one. Sorry.
It
is, Fa-
happens
Fatima.
to
is
me every day.
Fatima, are you
So it's
from
not
Baltimore?
worry. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Can she hear me? Fatima, are you from Baltimore?
Oh, she hung up.
Oh, she hung up.
All right, we're
She kind
still
of sounds
getting
like she has a Baltimore accent.
yeah, we still getting the echo. We gotta do something. We said people are saying it's echoing bad with the thing. You gotta try to fix yeah, and they're gonna fix it. He's gonna get that done. Keep calling in and Fatima, please put in the chat if you're from Baltimore. We want to know if she's from
Yeah,
Baltimore. I think she's from New York. I think she's from New York.
Let me see if I can get through this dude's message. Here, let's play.
Chris, I'm calling in from Nashville.
No, sorry, Chris. We'll get to you, Chris. Sorry, Chris. Every time, Chris. I'm sorry, buddy. This is 647.
Chicago, she's from.
Area code 647. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Phil?
How's it going, my friend? What's up tonight?
Good, man. My name's Christian. I'm from Toronto. I have a question, man. Like, these things obviously, the monsters at night, it's tough. But I also personally think you got to fight back. You got to put some sort of offensive maneuver against these things. I know they can have a storm coming your way. They might toss over your whole house. But I'm curious, if you and Teflon were in charge of offense, strategizing, what would your guys' first moves to fight back be, knowing everything you know now?
Okay, Tony has said this a lot, and I'm going to pass this over to Tony. But my thing is set a goddamn trap, Tony. Right? Like we got to dig a hole, get some pits, get some stuff. Like get one of those dudes.
This is very easy. This is easy. Number one, I would just go in there. I would drop all of the liquor right down the hole, and I will burn them right down in the hole. And if they came out of that hole after that, I would hit them with a couple of Molotov cocktails. Not when they're by the houses, so they could run in the houses on fire and burn out. But I let them be far away, chase it, hit them with the Molotov. Yeah. If that don't work, I will get in that bus and I would just run these motherfuckers over. It's a bus. It's a fucking bus. This is not a fucking VW bug. It's a fucking bus. Run these motherfuckers over. I mean, that's what you gotta do.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta fight back. Show them what's up. It's a big bus, man. What are they gonna do? I understand these things are monsters, but a monster is gonna get crushed by a bus.
Yep. Exactly. I run them over with the bus.
You guys.
Oh, appreciate you too.
Yeah.
Great call. Let's see if we can get through this dude's message this time.
Just FYI, I think you guys are right about Donna being a possible mole. She seems to always contest every idea they have to try and better themselves from the town. I mean, she's very against the radio tower being built. The colony.
Let's see how far I can do this. Okay. Well, we'll play the rest of your message next time. Area code 909. Welcome to the show, 909. What's your name? Where you call from? What's your question or comment or theory?
I actually have quite a few comments and theories and questions, if that's okay.
That's fine.
This is EJ. I'm calling from Atlanta. Okay. And the first thing I wanted to say is I've called in a couple of times and I also commented, but I am a professional tarot card reader and psychic. I've been one for since 2018.
I think you left a message on my video.
Regarding tarot, I know it like the back of my hand. I don't know if you guys care to want to talk about it anymore because it kind of came and went. But if there was any questions that you had, I would be more than happy to answer anything in regards to it if you wanted to know anything.
About the tarot cards, which I thought you don't know exactly. What did you take from this show and the tarot cards? Do you think that this means that they show that there's something going on with these tarot cards in this show from what you've seen in this show?
Well, not at first. I didn't see any correlation at first, and I know I've heard the theory before by Taryn. I heard his theory as well. I didn't agree with it either. I didn't see the correlation, but once the tarot cards did become present, I started to kind of try to look at it from a different perspective. And so the card that came up at the bottom, which was the High Priestess, The high priestess normally represents like a witch. And so I remember that there had been theories that potentially there was some type of witchery going on. So the fact that that card did show up, my first thought was, is it maybe possible that Tilly really is potentially a witch, right? I that did cross my mind when that particular card came up that she pulled at the bottom of the deck. And that was actually the only card that anybody of the audience saw.
Now, I did. Now, I thought it was the high priestess too, and I put that in my video, but people have corrected me and said it was a different card. I'm trying to see if I could go through these things and see exactly which card it was. Does anybody know in the chat? Can you just say what card it was? Because I thought it was the high priestess, and then when they said it was that card, and I looked back at the card, it definitely was the other card that they said it was. It's someone sitting like on like a throne and stuff. It's like a throne
sitting at a throne.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Someone sitting on.
Many queens sit at thrones. It could be any suit of a queen.
You saying
someone says it's a justice card.
Justice. Oh well, justice is actually a very positive card.
Yes, that's what it was. It was a justice card. That's exactly it. The person sitting on the throne holding a sword in one hand and justice on it. But it was a justice card.
Okay. Justice would be a very favorable outcome for anything. Like anytime a justice card comes up, is meaning like something is working in your favor. And that's normally a very positive card. In most situations, if you saw that card, you would be like happy about the outcome. But because it was in reference to, will her baby be okay? It's hard to say what justice means in regards to that, because, you know, in tarot, you have to be very specific about what you're asking and how you ask it. And unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to finish it fully. So it's really hard to say if that would have been still a positive outcome, even though that is considered to be a positive card. So that did cross my mind. And a couple of the things I thought about is, is it possible that either some type of spell work, possession, or a ghost or entity is what's going on here in reference to, especially, I'll use Jade for an example. The fact that Jade is a drinker, right? So if you think about it, the word spirit, right? And then he drinks liquor. Liquor is also known as spirits. And they say that the more you drink, you allow yourself to be lowered and open to and more susceptible to possession and also different entities. And an example that I thought of was the original Poltergeist. In the original Poltergeist, I don't know if have you seen that movie or remember it?
Of course.
Okay.
Get out of
when the
house.
father was drinking that liquor, and then he drank the worm at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, that was the way that the entity lowered his spirits to be able to enter him.
Is that when he ripped the face off at that particular time when he was drinking? Is that when he ripped the face off? He ripped his face into the sink and then looked in the mirror?
I think so. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It's been a long time. So there was a worm in the tequila, and that worm actually came out of him at some point and like wiggled off.
Yep.
Well, we got worms inside of Boyd too, right? So I mean, maybe
that's the other thing. So worms, right? So now we're back to the there's more correlation. So now we have worms, right? Remember, Boyd said, "My blood is your blood," right? Remember when he touched Smiley, okay, and he passed the blood to Smiley. He said, "My blood is your blood," but who is Boyd's blood? That would be Ellis. And who was Ellis with? That would be Fatima, correct?
Yes.
And isn't his grandchild Boyd's blood as well?
Yes.
Which means, is it possible now that they transferred that particular entity that is on those nightmare creatures to now Fatima's unborn child?
Yeah, that's what I thought, that there was something to do with Ellis, that Ellis transferred some type of the worms from the blood transfusion, but I also think that it has something to do with, I think that Boyd's wife was one of the chosen, and that's why his blood is special also, because of her from his mother's side, because it seems like everything thing in here from the chosen, it seems like it's always a woman that is chosen. And I do believe that Boyd's wife was chosen. That's what she was chosen to be there before this chick with Tabitha was there, because she had a dream about this place before she got into this place. And I think that's the key to knowing who the chosen people are, that they all have dreams about this place before they get into this place.
Right. And in most shows, you have good and evil, right? So who would be considered good would be Miranda / Tabitha. Who would be evil would be Christopher / Jade. And I believe that you're going to start seeing the separation of good and evil as well as the show progresses.
All right. I hear people saying she was already pregnant before the blood transfusion. So if it wasn't, if the worms weren't present then, again, I like I said, I do believe it would be, it's the mother's bloodline. And that holds weight in this whole situation. And we can't hear you. You're muted. And it's muted. We can't hear you. You're not muted, but we just can't hear you.
Now I remember that scene. I got the pictures up from the scene. Gross from Poltergeist. Now I'm gonna have to watch Poltergeist. It's been a while.
Yeah. So how about this? I would love for you to call back, or you know what? You can, if you hit me, you did hit me up. I don't know where you hit me up, but you hit me up somewhere. We do the theory stream on Wednesday. If you want to come on the theory stream, we'd love to have you on the theory stream. We'll go over the whole tarot card. I'll see if I can even get Taryn on and see if we could work this thing out.
Oh, I would love that. Definitely.
All right. Yeah, so hit me up. We'll do that thing. Maybe it's usually 8:00 on Wednesday, and we'll do that. Just hit me up. I don't know how you did, whatever way you contacted me, just contact me that way. It wasn't a message, right?
I did it in YouTube in the comments, so I'll reach back out to you through there.
Yeah, don't do that. Hit me up on like on Facebook or something, Facebook or Twitter.
Oh, okay. Do you have Instagram?
I don't answer it. But you can do it. I will get it because it's all linked to my Facebook. So you can hit me on my Instagram private message too. Yeah, that works.
Okay, so is it under Tony Teflon to get to your Instagram?
I am Tony Teflon. You can just Google Tony Teflon. It's me.
Okay.
I am Tony Teflon throughout the world, babe. Throughout the world.
Okay, I'll definitely direct message you for sure. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Great call. And let's see if we can finally finish this dude's message.
The soiled vegetables and stuff like that, the food. She always gives Boyd a hard time, and she doesn't go along with Boyd's plan.
Talking about Donna.
Capture the monster. She seems a little too comfortable in that place. And like you said, I agree. Like, how the hell is this the one thing that sets her off? Like this lady that we don't really know anything about, and she's been there for a long time. So it's a little sus if you ask me, but love you guys' content. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for the voicemail. Sorry we didn't get to your call, but it's good to hear other people are seeing the same things that we are seeing about Donna. You know?
Yeah, that's right. At least there's one other person that know it. Yeah, and he'll be right when it's all said and done. Everyone else will be wrong. And let them
You'll be on the right side of history, Tony.
Right. You'll be on the right side. Do we have any super chats that we did not get to?
We probably have a bunch. Let me look into your channel and see some of these super chats that we got. Let's take this call and then we'll jump over to the super chats. Area code 602. Welcome to the show. What's your name, question, and where are you calling from? Okay, 602.
Right. Thank you, 602.
But Amna K says, do you think Fatima's blood cravings connected to the man from Jade's vision? Thinks Randall killed due to cicada monsters touching Martin. Do you think Fatima's blood craving is connected to the Jade's vision, Tony?
I said that. That's what
you said it like with the Tony has a video out, not the last video he put out, but the one before that I think gets into that. So definitely check out Teflon TV if you haven't already. And if you're some of the few people that are watching on my channel, make sure you jump over to Tony's channel and you subscribe, because Tony is this close to 100,000 subscribers. Let's push him over the edge, and then we're going to work and get me to 20. But let's get Tony to 100 first right now. So if everyone is watching, if we just need like 4,000 or 5,000 more people to get Tony over the edge, so let's do it. Area code 251. Area code 251. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment? Or not area code 251. Well, whoever you are, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Bernicia.
Welcome.
And my comment was, I know y'all were saying the scenes in the cabin seemed kind of unnecessary, but
Mm-hmm.
my thinking on that was perhaps that is keeping Jade connected, whereas Chris isolated himself, Christopher.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Jade is connecting and he's communicating that the symbols are bothering him and that he's trying to solve this. He's not being silent about it. And I think maybe that's helping him stay connected. I mean, I may be wrong, but just kind of wondering what y'all's thoughts are about that.
Yeah, listen, I hear what you're saying. I understand why you're saying it. I understand the importance of that and not being isolated. But still, I don't think it was necessary to show it this season. This episode. I think you could have said those same exact things, put them in next episode, and said those things to him that episode. I just don't. I don't mind them saying it. I just didn't see it that it needed to be said in this episode.
Okay, I see your point. And then one other thing, somebody said in one of the groups I follow, what if the trees are being knocked down by Miranda?
What do you mean knocked down?
Knocked
Like if
down?
someone's knocking the trees out, like cutting them down?
Like Sauron?
Like she has some sort of way
Saruman.
of blocking that pathway to try to warn
Oh, she's
people.
knocking the trees down.
Oh, the
birds
branch, the
too.
big tree down. Yep.
I don't know if it's Miranda doing. Why would Miranda want to suck all these people in there? I just don't know why she would. It seems like to me that this is an experiment, and I don't know why she would be experimenting on these people.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just kind of wondering, like, if you went beyond the tree, is there something worse maybe? And that's why they're trying to turn you away from it? I'm not sure.
No, that's an interesting question. And if they keep going further the trees, what do the birds eventually do? Do they go get all Alfred Hitchcock the birds and like attack them?
Right.
Like, or do they just keep going caw, caw, caw? Because if they just keep going caw, 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 I'm gonna walk on the other side of the damn branch. But if they're attacking me, I'm gonna they go like the cuckoos in a Zelda game when you stab them and shit, and they start coming at you and stuff. Like I might freak out. But just cawing around, I'm murder crows flying around. I'm gonna keep going straight. You know what I mean, caller?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but it seemed like they were more angry when the ambulance came than they were for other people. To me,
yeah, absolutely.
The birds,
yeah. No, the birds are definitely cranking it up.
Something. Yeah, the birds had something up their butts tonight.
Well, thanks for listening. I'm just, things that are just running through my head, and I just love calling in because I can always explore with you guys.
We love you calling in. We love you watching. Thank you so much. And we're here to discuss this because we be thinking the same thing.
And Tony and I will always explore with you in all ways. So we appreciate it.
Amy Cinnamon Sweets.
Sorry, I didn't mean that, caller.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate it.
Don't worry, we're always exploring with you. We won't call back anytime. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone out there. And thank you.
I just put on some chapstick on my mouth, and Amy Cinnamon Sweets saying "ew." What's good with that?
No, whatever. You can't please everyone, Tony. Area code 602.
What we do here?
602. Welcome to the show. What's your name? Where you come? Oh, we lost 602. Tony. Kelly Johnson asks, T, briefly explain the similarities between the villain from Darkest Before the Dawn and From Creeps. I don't understand that question, but Kelly Kelly also asked me about Daryl Dixon season 2. No, I'd rather cover this show. Another super chat from Sun Flenny. I realized I don't know what the fuck's happening in this show. I think that's part of the fun. Diva Sophia says, how the hell did the nurse monster get the keys? I think she picked them up off the ground, but I think that was Tony and I were talking about that most of the night. Was that a plan that they set up the whole time? It seemed like they were sort of a few steps ahead.
They killed the driver. They killed the driver of the thing.
Oh yeah, and they probably just picked the pocket and took the keys.
Just picked the keys off that dude and stuff. This is the karma mix. The Carmex chapstick. I ain't got the bullshit one. I got the good one.
Tony still heard about the ew.
Huh? No, they ain't hurting. I put it on. Shorty said ew when I put the goddamn.
That's the you're still hurting for the ew. Don't say ew to Tony.
That's not a ew moment.
Nastasia says, Monster's still mad that he killed Smiley. Man, Boyd could have done more for Randall, says Naya Hurst. Fatima says, Nikki got shot right after cleaning up the crows that Baca said was bad juju. Nye also says, "What up, Tony? What did Thomas mean? Okay, I think we're caught up with the chats right there.
All right.
I'm doing that one. If anyone we missed your super chat tonight, we're sorry about that, but it scrolled by.
I know you were talking about the crow butts. I'm just playing with you, Amy. I'm just playing with you. I know that's why you said it. And everything. Anna, talk to me. Make sure everything is good.
I'm back now, right?
Yeah,
you are back. You're on.
Yeah, no echo or anything like that.
No echo, no nothing.
I had to switch. I think because I was on my iPad. It's terrible for StreamYard, FYI.
You sound really good right now. Like you sound much better now. Area code 2 I love hearing you anytime, but you sound really good now. Area code 251. Welcome to the show. Sorry, missed your call a couple of times. 251. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Tony? What's up, Phil?
How's it going?
What up?
How you doing, Red Lipstick?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Hey, I'm Nigel from Alabama. I've chatted in a few times, but I've never called. So I just want to call real quick and
cheers to you.
Donna's the mole.
Donna's the mole.
100%. Donna's the mole. This whole crime scene last night was trying to throw us off, and I can't believe everybody fell for it. She's 100% the mole.
You on it. You on it. And stick to that. Don't let these people get you out of here and try to convince you otherwise, so you could be wrong like them. Stay on your course. You're gonna be right on it.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm with y'all guys. And one last thing, real quick, man. I'm gonna let y'all go. Do y'all remember in the cabin when Jade was talking about the one-eyed guy and the hallucinations?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As soon as he said that, he heard the knocking on the walls. They heard the knocking.
Yep.
And then Christy said, Jade, are you sure those were hallucinations?
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about that?
Well, I thought when I first seen the trail that wasn't a hallucination. It really happened. It turned out to be. I don't know if that guy is actually knocking on the wall. I don't know what's out there. I thought it was some type of. I thought it was Eloise and her people out there, but now I'm suspecting Eloise because I think that she could be Sarah. So I really don't know. I really don't know. I can only go by the picture of the sketch that I put in the video that I made. That the person there, but there's no name for that person.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm thinking it might be Eloise, but also I'm thinking that maybe Jay released something when he took the totem down. Of course, everybody's thinking that too.
I think it's Jasper the puppet hanging out there. Like that's my answer to everything. It's Jasper the puppet. He's hanging out there, knocking on the doors and shit like that on televisions and everything. Jasper's in every scene. We just can't see him. Jasper's the villain behind everything. I'm all aboard that.
I'm gonna go through all the scenes and start looking for Jasper.
Was Jasper?
Man,
do you guys
Jasper better not be real.
voice was Jasper?
What was that, Anna?
That like they were calling on the telephone. Do you think through Jasper he was getting those types of messages, like the Matthews family is getting on the phone?
Possibly. Jasper's the dude on the phone too. Caller, what do you think about that? Is Jasper dude on the phone? Sorry.
Yeah.
Jasper is quote unquote Thomas. Could be.
Could be. Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate you. Call back in anytime, my friend.
Hey, no problem. Y'all take it easy.
Thanks, Bama.
Right. Yeah, Jasper is suspect now. It's all over the place with Jasper right now. So there's no telling what's going on here.
It felt like Jasper is trying to drive everybody crazy. Like in that scenario, he's trying to drive him crazy, right? Like bringing up maybe the past or things you're sensitive about or things only your family or you would know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like the same spirit or person that's doing that. Like during that period, it's through Jasper. During this period, it's through these telephone calls from their dead son.
Yeah, I don't think Jasper. I know. I don't think. I think Jasper has a note in his back.
Yeah, like
I think that's how he talks.
So?
I think that when Victor's saying we need to speak to him, I think Christopher might have put something inside of him to hide it there. And that's what he's looking for. Not that the doll actually is talking with a spirit, making it move and walk around and stuff. I think
But it
that's
was talking.
in Victor's. You can't trust this man's memory.
Yeah, he's not a reliable narrator. Tony, if Victor gets his hands on Jasper, will he get a memory gram like he got with all those other items?
That's what he's looking for. He's looking for that memory. So I think that there's a memory that's going to pop up because he's got a memory from everything else, right? The onions and everything else. So I think that there's some type of note. I got to speak to Jasper because he thinks Jasper's speaking, but really I think there's a note inside of Jasper that Christopher left in there to help solve the riddle of what this.
I kind of want Jasper to really be talking.
And you know what? I seen this today. So
someone said in the live
I don't know.
I don't want Jasper to really be talking.
Yeah, some girl posted this because she posted it 2 years ago on the Facebook group. So I don't want to take credit for anything like that. But she says that the symbols that we see, that Jay keeps seeing, she thinks is the imprints of somebody's hand, like the line markings on your hand. She says she thinks that's what the symbol is, the line markings on a hand, which kind of makes sense. There you go, Phil. Let everyone see that.
Oh yeah, I said thank you early before the show, but huge thanks to Tony and Pete Easy for sending me the shirt. And I'm not even saying this shit because I just say nothing if it wasn't true. This is some quality t-shirt. This shit's thick. The printing is like really good. This shit's not falling off in the wash. This is actually like I'm not QVC in this shit. This is actually like a really quality t-shirt. Pete Easy, you do some good fucking work. Tony, you design a good shirt. I'm excited to wear this fucking thing every fucking week and smell it up, but and make it look not as pretty. But and I didn't know it had the Teflon TV thing on the background. Now I'm gonna grab my Teflon TV.
That's right. That's right.
Pete Easy, where are the V-necks? Because
you can get a V-neck.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. And I like the V-neck too with my Austin Powers chest.
Yes. Yeah. Anna needs a V-neck. You can't have.
I need a V-neck.
Yeah, Anna needs a V-neck.
Well, you hit Pete Easy up on privately to get the V-neck to you. Don't worry about me.
I need a V-neck.
He could do a V-neck. We'll get the V-neck.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to take it off that question.
So definitely check out Pete Easy.
Okay.
The Teflon TV on the Pete Easy site. Teflon TV. Place on the and you can get yourself a Que Sera shirt, which is the #1 seller of all the shirts. Is the Que Sera shirt.
So Tony, you don't think that doll is actually you don't think there was any chance that doll is just talking? Because I'm thinking with the telephone had no cords. Okay, so whatever is happening with these messages, either you're telling me the Matthews family is hearing this kid in their head and none of that's actually happening, and the same for Jasper, or these two things are quite similar. Neither one of these things are real. They're not plugged in. Like the phone's not plugged into anything. Jasper's a goddamn doll. And if Jasper's talking, sending these messages, driving you crazy, talking about things that only you would know, or giving you only information that would, connect to you, wouldn't it be plausible that through this iteration, rather than them speaking through a doll, they're speaking through a phone with no cords?
All right, so I think it's like this, and I think that it's the classic trope of the puppet actually puppeteering the puppeteer, right? We've seen it on the Batman show. If you ever watched the Batman: The Dark Knight, there was one of these guys who was a mafia guy. He had a mafia doll, and the mafia doll was the one talking and shooting everybody. It's a classic thing like that. And I think that's the story that they're trying to tell. This guy was the puppet master, but now the puppet is the actual puppeteer. I don't believe Victor's visions. He may, as a little child, thought he seen the doll move. He may have seen him talking to the doll, just like we've seen Jade talk to dead people, right? We've seen Jade talk to dead people. We've seen Boyd talk to dead people. So he might have witnessed him talking to that doll like he talked to dead people. Now, as for the doll actually talking itself, I just don't believe. I think that's what he thinks because he was talking to him as a child. But in the end, that's not what it is. I don't believe the doll is going to be able to talk. I think in the end, the doll has a note inside of him, and that's where they have to get to. And I think that when it's all said and done, that's not the true puppeteer. You have to figure that's what they're trying to tell you. That there's a puppeteer puppeting all these people. The monsters are being puppeted by somebody. Who is the true puppeteer? It's the boy in white. He is the evil in this place. He is the true puppeteer. He's behind this whole shit. All right, and I'll do another.
I don't think the doll. I don't think that doll's going to talk anymore, though, because his master's dead. Like he served the purpose already, right?
Oh, you think once now that Christopher is gone, the doll is not going to no longer be?
He might have put a
animated?
message or he might have put a message or something in the doll. That I could get that, but I don't think the doll will talk again because his master is not there. Now they've switched to the Matthews family. What's the dad's name again? I don't know why I remember that man's name. Jim. Now they switched to Jim, caller. And he's and they're sending the messages through Jim. He's not fucking with dolls and things, right? But he is the one messing with electronics, and you know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to find a way to connect to him by any means necessary. So Jasper was the method for that. And then weren't they talking about how he was a nice guy at first, and then all of a sudden something happened? They didn't really go all the way with that.
He saw the symbol and he changed, is what Victor said. Something like that.
Yeah, and with Jim seemed very cool at first, but he starts to get more and more irrational as he gets more messages, right? It's making him not act rational.
Glue Guns and Roses. We didn't hang up on you. You hung up on us. Call right back.
Call right back.
Call back.
Yeah, you hung up on us. And again, you can find the Don Tony Teflon's book on Amazon. Go out there and pick it up. Don't be afraid.
I didn't hit hang up. Call right back, or I'll call you back.
There you go.
No, that was KP. I hung up on KP. No, I didn't hang up on KP.
yeah. There we go.
812. Is this Glues, Guns, and Roses? Is this you? I didn't hang up on you. I just said call her. Wait 1 second for Anna to finish talking. What's going on, Glues?
Oh, I got disconnected then. I'm so sorry. Hey, y'all. It's Megan, Glue, Guns, and Roses. How are you?
Hi, Megan.
Hey, okay. So can we go back to the mannequin Jasper theory?
Do it.
Yeah.
1 quick second.
Of course.
Okay. Because I'm kind of liking where red lipstick reality TV. Forgive me. What do you go by that, or do you go by your first name?
Oh, you can call me Anna.
Anna. Okay. So what Anna was saying, I like where she was going with that. In the comments, I also saw where Golden Child, forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, he also said that remember the mannequin, well, we theorize the mannequin told Chris maybe to let the monsters know where the people are hiding the night that everyone died, because it's kind of insinuated that Chris told the monsters where all the hiding spots were when Victor's mom told him, like, hey, hide or no one's gonna find you kids, you know. And so they went and hid in the
specifically she said hide from Christopher. She said,
well, okay, so I took that, and maybe this is my headcanon. I took that as because Chris is like snitching on everybody's hiding spot.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So, but also Golden Child, back to this, and I really like this theory. Golden Child's like, well, what if it was Jasper, the mannequin, that told Sarah to open the door in season 1, you know, that was telling her, like, hey, kill these people. Good idea. Kill these people. And then I also like maybe he is like pulling the strings like a puppet and then calling up Jim and being like, hey, daddy. And then telling Ethan, like, hey, brother, how are you? Mama's coming home. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm going with this?
That's exactly what I think it is. I think he jumps from whatever entity he can use to connect to these people, and is saying these messages, like using whatever voice. using
always Jasper.
using whatever tools, like using their backgrounds and stories that they believe it and buy into it. Because if somebody would have just called that phone, like remember when they called Jim the first time, it was almost like Jim kind of blew it off.
Yeah.
Like you really haven't heard him bring that call up again. And then when he got a call from somebody that was like, hey, this is your kid, he's all of a sudden he's taking it a lot more seriously than he did with that first call when the flood happened.
Right. And like, let me just interject really fast. Also, like a ventriloquist or whatever, however you say it, y'all, I'm not good with words, but they have different
That was
voices,
good enough.
and there's
That's
that
right.
different voice on the radio, the phone, and okay, sorry, go on.
Mm-hmm. No, go.
You know what I'm saying?
She said, so you all right. I want to be clear that so we all understand we're on the same page. Are we saying that the doll itself has a spirit trapped in it that's doing this, or there's a spirit talking to the doll, talking through the doll? What are we saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Part two.
Yes, through the doll, right? That's where we're at,
I
Anna,
think there's
right?
a spirit
Yes.
through
You're
the
with
doll.
me?
I'm with you guys too a little bit. I think I'm with the
Yeah.
spirit. Something's talking through the doll. The doll is being projected, like whatever's whatever is the evil force in there is controlling the puppet, and the puppet is manipulating Christopher into killing everyone. Tony, you were saying that earlier about all the people killed outside. Maybe Christopher killed all those people. Maybe it wasn't the monsters that killed them all during the day or some shit like that, because Jasper told him to do it. I don't know. I'm just sort of like, suppositioning here a little bit.
It had to be.
I don't think it's a Chucky type thing. That's not what
I want it
am
to be
thinking that
Chucky.
whatever's speaking through Jasper
All
is
right.
the same voice that's changing it up and being like, "Hey Jim, I got your kids," and then it's like, "Hey Ethan, little brother's here," and he's like, "Jim, your wife is messing with them basements. You better go get her." You know what I'm saying? Like changing it all up.
That was great.
The doll's a Bluetooth speaker. It's the doll's basically a Bluetooth speaker.
That totally, Anna. Absolutely. And someone's got the little like the controller and stuff like that. I think they have the crows on beat too, and they have a file on everybody, and they're manipulating everybody, like they know Jim's kid and all that sort of
You're
stuff.
saying that the Jasper is basically Teddy Ruxpin.
Maybe.
Yes.
Tony. Yes.
And
I don't
had
know
one
who
of
that
those.
is. I'm sorry.
That is
But yes. If Anna agrees,
just
I
say
think we're
just
on the
say
same
yes.
page.
Yeah, just
That's
say
fine.
yes.
You don't
Megan.
know
Just say
what
yes.
Teddy Ruxpin is? Are you a young lady? Maybe it's too young.
No.
Are you under 30?
I'm pushing 40, so I mean, I'm not that young. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin
Wait, hold on.
was
Hold on. Is that
a
the teddy bear?
Yeah, it was the teddy
okay,
bear
hold
you
on.
put tapes in, and it like talked. It was like one of the first
Yeah.
like animatronic teddy bears that you could bring home, and it
Yes.
talked. It was like, oh, it's almost like what the movie Ted is parodying a little bit, like that, like
Okay.
the alive bear. Sort
My
of.
husband's referenced that. I don't remember that at all, but I do know of what you're speaking of. Yes, but so I don't know. I just think I don't think it's the mannequin itself like Chucky.
Yeah.
I do think what the entity is, whatever is speaking through Jasper. Which, okay, that's another question. Do y'all think Jasper really was speaking, or is Victor misremembering, or what was going on in that scene? Do you know
I
what I'm
think
talking
the
about?
mouth was
The two,
moving.
Chris?
I think the mouth was moving on the ventriloquist without Chris actually making the ventriloquist mouth move. So
Okay.
that would, for Chris, if you're seeing that, right, that would throw you the F off. You're like, why is this mouth moving? Why is it talking to me? I'm not talking. It's talking to me. So
Right.
he's going to listen to it.
Because
So
we
I
haven't
think
been
that's,
shown an unreliable narrator from not through flashbacks of Victor, just through his mouth, right?
Well, yeah. Well, he didn't remember. His first thing was his mother leaving, and then all of a sudden, the second remembrance was his sister was there with him. So he didn't remember his sister being there the first time, right? He thought his mom hugged him goodbye and he left.
You're right, actually. Okay.
And then the next time, oh my God, I have a sister named Eloise, and she was there with us too, and she ran out after my mother.
Right. Okay.
You know.
just
Okay.
like the
So anyways,
jukebox,
I really
guys. You
want to
know
call
that,
in on that. That really wasn't my theory, but I did jump in off of, I think it was Golden Child. I may be wrong. Forgive me, y'all, in the chat.
No, you were rolling with Anna. You and Anna on the same page here.
well, because I'm trying to figure out why did you throw this random ventriloquist doll in here? Like, what's the point of that? What's the point of saying that Chris all of a sudden started turning And I'm like, okay, well, if I was getting all these random crazy messages through a ventriloquist doll that I know typically only talks if I'm making it talk or making it move, right? That something might be funny with how I'm acting too. And then I look at Jim, and the first message, I think he just chalked that up to being connected to a radio. And he kind of blew it off. And so they said, okay, you want to blow me off? Now I'm going to call you on a phone that I know has no cords. And then I'm going to pretend that I'm your kid that you know is dead. When I make this call, it's like, to get them to that point, you have to take it somewhere that is not feasible or plausible in real life. So why is this happening?
Yeah.
And then you would probably go crazy.
Right. But okay, when Kenny got a phone call, he didn't hear a voice, did he?
Did Kenny get a phone call?
Or am I crazy? I thought the phone rang.
Yeah, didn't the phone ring? The phone did ring with Kenny.
Oh, did it? I don't.
Yeah, when he was in the kitchen, the phone rang with Kenny.
Was that last season?
Yeah, and then the cicada jumped on his arm and burnt him.
Oh, okay, yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah, I have to watch. I've only watched season 2 once. I've watched season 1 twice. I haven't watched season 2 a second time yet. I have to check that out after the season's over.
And then to wrap it back in to Sarah's just effed up. So she was just getting messages straight to her mind, which didn't seem too weird for her. And then like seeing stuff on her arms, so who knows what the voice was to Sarah, but I do believe whoever did the phone calling, the mannequin moving mouth and talking, the radio, all of that is the same person. And they are just great at switching up voices. And it does make sense for it to be mannequin because the ventriloquist.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm
saying it right. You're saying it right every time.
Anyways. So anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll let y'all go. I just wanted to come in and be like, hold up, wait a second. I really wanted to get this out.
Megan, please call every week. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Listen,
I love it. Thanks for being on my side.
Anna's like, call back. You're on my side. I am the Don Tony Teflon. I'm telling you, I'm right about this, Anna. It's the boy in white. The boy in white is the evil. I've been telling y'all this from the jump. He controls everything. He controls the phone calls. He controls the mannequin. He controls this whole thing. Everything is through the boy in white, and the boy in white is Victor. I'm telling you. It's what it is.
Welcome to the show, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your question or comment?
Good night. This is Carol.
Oh, KP, make it quick. I didn't see it was you.
I'm a little bit hurt. I'm a little bit hurt that Hi. Good night, Anna. Good night. I'm a little bit hurt that
good night, Casey.
Cut me off for Anna. I mean, I know she's a beautiful, lovely lady. You know what I mean? I prefer watching her than watching you. But I'm hurt by this connection. But it's all good. It's all good, Tony. I'm not going to hold it against you. Just you see the exact same way that Christy is not going to hold anything against Kenny. Like nothing's being held against Kenny. Kenny's very, very lonely.
Make your point quick, KP. We're running out of time.
All right. Well, let's get straight to it then. Is this town a manifestation of just fears in general and having folks listen to their fears and like showing what would happen to folks if their fears became a reality? That's one question.
No, we'll go with it. We'll go with that question. We love you, KP. So that question.
Stop with the first question.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
We give them one. We got shout out to Think Stories in the building, rocking with us right now. Shout out to Think Story. Is
this a manifestation of people's fears? Could it be something like that?
I don't think. I mean, when you have a person who's being chosen one after the other in all this and everything, you know what I mean, all the time, I just can't see it being that a dream type state. It's happening over and over and over and over again. They're trying to free the children, and no one's been able to do this, right? So now maybe somehow they can manifest some type of dreams in here, but I don't think the whole place is a manifestation of someone's dreams. Yeah. What do you think, Anna?
Yeah, I also don't think, Tony, that your original theory that it might be aliens, I also don't think that that's still not plausible.
So it is possible.
Yeah, because I'm just like, even the things that I'm bringing up, it doesn't mean that it's technically like a spirit. It literally could just be, like you said, a puppet master, and they're trying all these different ways to basically sabotage what's happening, or just like I said, they threw the Matthews family in there to cause chaos. It's like they're just trying to put all these different obstacles and things in the way to see what will people do, how will they react to these things, and can I drive somebody crazy enough to manipulate them to through coercive control, so to speak, to get them to do my bidding. It's like through the human mind, what are we capable of? Exactly.
All right, we'll take this last call and then we gotta get up out of here.
This is area code 225. What's going on, 225?
What's up? How y'all doing?
We're doing great. How about yourself, my friend?
Great.
What's your
How are
question,
you?
comment, or theory thing?
Oh, I just wanted to add to the Jasper theory that everybody was just talking about.
Do it.
Right.
When he was going through his memory, Victor, and he saw Christopher and Jasper talking. You guys remember the scene, right?
Yep.
I believe Jasper was really talking because when Jasper yelled, Victor jumped. You will remember something that scared you like that.
I don't know if that's enough. I think that at that point when he screamed, I don't know if he actually screamed. Did he actually scream at him right then, or because that's what happens to Jade all the time, you know? That scream and stuff. Again, I don't think the scream is a scary thing. I think the scream is just to get your attention.
But a scream from a ventriloquist, how you pronounce it? Ventriloquist dog?
Ventriloquist.
What is that?
Yeah, I hear you.
If I seen a dog talking and I seen it scream, I'm definitely jumping.
I feel you. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not telling you that's not. It's quite possible it could be, but I don't know. I got give me till tomorrow when I drop the video. I have it all figured out by tomorrow.
But I had something else to say. Like I just wanted to touch on that because, like I said, once I started seeing, because Victor would dropped his mouth because he couldn't believe what he was seeing, and when the scream came about, he jumped. So I'm like, well, maybe the doll is talking because he reacted to the scream.
Phil, what does the wolf say?
I don't know. Victor, Christopher killed everybody. That's what it says. So.
Yeah, but my other theory is I don't think that the cicada entity is gone. I think Bard actually freed it. It seemed like that he actually freed it, and that's why the monsters are focusing on Bard and breaking him so much, because the entity couldn't do it itself. So it's focusing. Look, we all got to break Bard and have fun with him for some reason. I believe that it's out. Bard freed it, and it's just basically torn with Bard at this point.
All right. We shall see. He supposedly defeated it last year, but we'll see if that's the case.
Thank you, caller.
I don't think he actually defeated it. I think he freed it, and it's just having fun with him at the moment since he's the one who freed it.
It could be. It could be. It could be. I have to take a look at it. But thank you for the call.
That's all I had.
Thanks for the call.
All right, y'all be good.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good night. Okay, well, shut up. The phone lines are off, my friends. I know. I see you calling in, KP. We'll get you on next time or get you on Wednesday night, my friend.
On Wednesday. Come back Wednesday with that, buddy. Listen, go out there. You get yourself this book right here. It's called Darkest Before the Dawn. It's written by me, your boy, right here. Go buy it on Amazon, right? What you gotta do. Go out there.
There's also an interesting character in there. Check it out. Check out the book.
Yeah. Yes, there's also a character in there too that could be one of us on this panel right now.
Maybe, possibly.
This possibly is in there. In
What do
that
you think,
book.
Wolf Guy? I think there is. Yeah, great job, Wolf Guy.
Listen, that Dre, I said I need a new read. Then go check out my book right there, Darkness Before the Dawn. Go on Amazon. They have put the link in the description. Many a times, I'm sure someone will do it again right now and everything else. And
JP, we love you, buddy. Stop it.
JP, you were on this other chick's channel talking for 4 straight hours. She told me.
KP, you were the only caller that got 2 calls tonight. Come on, KP.
4 hours.
4 hours, KP. We love you, buddy.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And PE's, you're gonna make some book merch too. All right, we're gonna do some book stuff and everything else to make some merch on the books. All right, you can have Darkest for the Dawn t-shirts. We're gonna get that shit popping and everything. There is the book link. All right, everybody. Anna, thank you for joining us. Phil, we'll see you. If you come to Wednesday with me and Elamar, we'll see you then. If not, people are waiting for more of the spoilers.
Awesome. I'll see if I can find anything else. If I do, I will post it. Thank you to everyone that checked out those videos. It's been a while since I had some videos that got some traction. So thank you to everyone that checked out those couple of videos. I guess I'm a spoiler channel now. So if I find anything, I will be posting it. Love you guys. Thank you for checking that out.
That's what if you like the way to do is please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace